those jobs are not for him. He turns into a real estate agent who believes in discipline. The guy who's first to use cocaine, the wild boy breaking free. He'll end up in a court of law as a prosecuting QC. Remember the school captain? Success was a matter of time. I can hear her now as she screams, Greg, you missed the stop sign. Forget Snoop, Doggy Dog, forget Old Iced Tea. The true word out on the streets is produced by the DAC. What's the use of striving? Life's road in front unravels. We get to do the driving, don't choose the direction we travel. Do your homework and whack for weeks, graffiti the damn dog line. It don't matter much when you hear that scream, Greg, you missed the stop sign.
Greg, the stop sign. Greg, the stop sign. Greg, the stop sign. Greg, the stop sign.
Sometime in the next 10,000 years, a comet's gonna wipe out all trace of man. I'm banking on it coming before my end-of-year exam. The rich kid becomes a junkie, the poor kid an advertiser. What a tragic waste of potential.
Being a junkie's not so good either.
Your folks worked hard for what you got. You were the fruit of their vine. Who cares what you sow and what you reap? Is Greg who missed the stop sign?
'cause I'm not listening to anything you say. And if you count to three, you'll see it's no emergency. You'll see I'm not the enemy, just a prisoner of society. Society, 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 society. I got a stereo and plenty of noise. I got 20 bucks and silver coins. I got a beer and a couple of joints. Now I just want to hear Bob Brian's voice. Play twice a day, 7 days a week. The second greatest band in history. I saw you on the shelf at Sanity. You were looking hot as TNT. Took you home, you shook me all night long. I never knew that rock and roll could be so strong. Playing twice a day, 7 days a week. The second greatest band in history. Playing twice a day, 8 days a week. The second greatest band in history. Playing twice a day, 7 days a week. Full volume in my dad's GT. The neighbours hear it from up the street. The second greatest band in history. And we are first. Hanging out, having a punt. 'Cause my rent's due at the end of the month. Getting hungry, I'm fanging a feed. Something greasy, gravy and beef. All I want and all I need, all I crave is a good pump feed. All I want and all I need, all I crave is a good pump feed. Bowl of chips, tomato sauce. Can't get enough, I'm begging for more. 'Cause I came here at 5:45. And I ain't gonna leave till I get my fix. All I want and all I need, all I crave is a good pump feed. All I want and all I need, all I crave is a good pump feed.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All I want and all I need is a bloody good V8 race on a Sunday eve. We're off to a good start. We're off to a flyer here on Sunday night here at Sensational TV. We've got AK Racing's V8 Supercars Series Round 2 coming to you hot, coming to you live from sunny and hot Bahrain over in the Middle East. The AK Racing jet has flown us out here. Absolute comfort and style. We're up here in the commentary booth. Just waiting on my co-commentator, who is actually just giving some instructions with the driver's briefing at the moment. But what we can do is take a little quick look at the track we are at today. It is Bahrain. You may have seen this track before in the F1 Grand Prix style. But tonight, the big, loud V8s are going to be tackling it Aussie style. We've got 15 turns. It's 5.4 Ks long. As you can see, it's going to be around a 157. The fastest in practice was Luke Newing with a 157.704. That is pretty hot, if you ask me. And I wonder if him or anyone else can beat that time in our qualifying session, which will be coming up very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But that'll be coming up soon after the driver's briefing. But we got a few drivers still circulating out on track at the moment. Currently following around with Hayden Cook there in the Rangy Art number 7 ZB Commodore. He's been having a pretty good season so far. Actually coming off the back of his first podium position in Wednesday Cup. Our AK Racing's Wednesday night series over there in the minis. So he's been having good times lately in the sim. We'll cross over to Nathan Hughes, who also is a regular in our Wednesday night series. He ducks a couple of wheels off the street there to get around. I think that's Lockie Grant in the 261. That is Mobile 1 entry. So these guys are going to go around together down into turn 1. Tricky little section, the first sector, especially turn 4. Very hard in these big heavy V8s to get the front end tipped in and to have enough front end grip to really make the most of it. Good evening to all our viewers out there in YouTube land, in Simsational land. It's good to have everyone back on board again for another week, or at least another fortnight's round of just cracking racing here at AK Racing. These guys put on an absolute show. I was not around for the first round, but we had about 35 cars on track. From memory, I tuned into the stream that night, and my co-commentator, Zach O'Reilly, took the reins. And that just looked like absolute, just action-packed racing there at the Townsville Street Circuit. That was absolutely unreal. So, as you can imagine, 35 cars on a street circuit brought a little bit of mayhem with it. But that is part and parcel of sim racing. As we see the drivers start to now get their bums into the server at a rate of knots. Currently 17 cars on track, or 16 should I say. We'll check in with Jesse Marshall with MBR Racing, which I assume is Marshall Brothers Racing. We'll get a look at that nice livery there. And his teammate, I assume, is his brother, is Harley Marshall, who is a bit of a stalwart around the AK Racing traps for the past few seasons. And now certainly Jesse, if he can show a bit of the pace that Harley has in the past, MBR Racing will be a formidable force in the Teams Championship come towards the end, or at least the pointy end of this championship so far. Half the drivers just opting to chill in the pits for now. We've only got 2 cars circulating out on track, one of which is our current series champion, Matt Cotter, sliding the car as only Matt Cotter does. If you took all the liveries off and you just judged the cars on the driving style only, I reckon I could pick Matt Cotter from an absolute mile away. You see the arse end swinging out on that thing, and you know exactly who's behind the wheel. It's our series champion, Mr. Matt Cotter. We'll see how he goes, we'll just watch him from the inside of the cockpit and see what sort of wheel work this man gets up to. I can give you the tip, there's a fair bit of counter steer, as he likes to use the right foot as basically a way to turn the vehicle. Turns it in and then just counter steers his way out. Always being nice and smooth to just to spite me as we're riding on board with him right now. Cracking night's racing coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We have 3 races tonight. After a 12-minute qualifying session, which is coming up shortly. As I said, the drivers are probably still in briefing at the moment. So we've got 12 minutes qualifying, and we have brought in a new procedure to AK Racing's qualifying and the races, actually. There will be no teleporting to pits. So once you have done your hot laps, you can't just bail out to the pits and chuck on a new set of boots and come back again. You have to do a full out lap. Sorry, an in lap, should I say. Come back around and into the pits, as you would if you were in the real world. So adding just another touch of realism to an already excellent series here at AK Racing. Proudly presented by Sensational TV. But coming up after qualifying, we do have 3 races, the first of which is a 16-lap sprint. There will be a mandatory pit. There will be a mandatory compound change. So we'll be going from super softs to softs, or vice versa, depending on what these drivers think is the best option here for a 16-lap race around this absolutely cracking circuit of Bahrain. Following that is a 11-lap super sprint with no mandatory pit. And it is a reverse top 10 of race 1. So that certainly throws a spanner in the works. Throws a cat amongst the pigeons. Throws anything amongst anything. It just throws a bit of action our way, which is always good for the viewers. Race 3 is a 14-lap in-betweener. And the grid is set by the finishing positions of race 2. So it gives you a little bit of a chance to sort of claw back any losses that you may have encountered in race 1 or 2. But race 3 is mandatory super soft starting compound. So we're going to see all the drivers starting on the quicker of the 2 tyre compounds there for race 3. And a mandatory pit stop as well along the way. So maybe a little bit of pit strategy there for everyone to enjoy. The conditions here on track. It's a balmy 31 degrees outside. Track temp at about 37. And I'll tell you what, tonight's qualifying round, the qualifying is at 5:30 p.m. on track. So we're going to have the setting sun in our eyes in some of these turns. So that's certainly going to test the drivers' skill and resolve there. Whether they're wearing their sunglasses or not, we're going to have to find out. For the first race, it will be a 6:30 p.m. start, so we might get the lights on track just starting to turn on as the sun goes down behind the mountains over in the yonder. Race 2 starting at 7 p.m., so 7:30 p.m. should I say. So it's going to be nighttime. We're going to have headlights ablaze and track lights lighting up this wonderful circuit. And race 3 from 8:30 p.m., which will be more of the same. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, all the drivers have exited the server, which means they must be gearing up and getting their driver's briefing on track. And that means that we are very close to a start for our qualifying session. So, ladies and gentlemen at home, it's time now to go and refill your drinks, get yourself a big bowl of popcorn, and join us very shortly for qualifying in race 1.
questions. I learned my lessons. There's no exceptions. We all get stuck here sometimes. You made up your mind again. Never really asked the questions. A faulty connection has left you unstable. We all get stuck here sometimes, and I hope it takes us all night. So walk a straight line again. Never really asked the questions. This fucking depression has left you lonely. We all get stuck here sometimes, and I hope it takes us all night. I'll stay till you feel alright, 'cause we all get stuck here sometimes, and I wanna tell you what it's like to feel at home. I don't think someone like you should be alone again. They don't know you like I do or understand. It's all in your head. Someone take me home. I feel it in my skin and out my bones. Whether it's a night shifting Clarkson or a thorn in your side, every rose in the garden needs some time with a hose to feel fine. One day in 100 you do what you can, but everyone around you thinks that you're Superman. You buy some shit for the screens in the van. It's not easy, but
Oh, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. And we're ready for some qualifying action. We are joined by my co-commentator, Zach O'Reilly, fresh from driver briefing. How are the drivers feeling in there, my friend?
They're feeling very quiet, I would say, my dear friend. Good to be with you. Welcome to Sensational TV, everyone, here for the AKV8's for qualifying. Yes, they are. They're feeling very quiet. A bit of tension, I would say, there under the breath of all those sim races out there, Chris, because it's a brilliant track, but it's an easy one to come up proper, I would say.
Yeah, there's plenty of turns. We've got 15 all in total, should I say, as we were going through the specs of the track earlier. 15 turns, 5.4 kilometres of action out there to be had. So plenty to think about for these drivers here as they sit waiting for the green light to go for qualifying for round 2 here.
Oh yeah, it's going to be spicy. It's going to be hot too. 32 degrees out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Par for the course, I think, in this part of the world. So no surprises there for the drivers. I'd imagine they would have anticipated the track temps and have their tyre pressures and everything sorted out pre-qualifying. So they're red hot and ready to go here. We've got 14 seconds till we get green lights here for the session. And look who it is. Oh, I think the only safe bet here is to tip Nick Mello to be the first man out of the pit lane.
And as we speak of that gentleman himself, out he goes onto the pits for the first lap here of qualifying to get everyone out and underway. And by Jingos, it's amazing how he does this. I really don't understand. He must have the server on like a notification or something to say it's live. And he's in there and app and done. He must also have a hotkey to load his setup. I really don't know how he does it.
Yeah, he's got the fastest SSD in the world, or if there might be new technology, but I'm not aware of it. I'm sure there is, actually. There might be something quicker than an SSD. He's got a set of course to load it up on, but
he's got a NASA computer or something.
He certainly does. I don't think he has missed the first man out on track ever since he showed up, really.
No, not at all. And it doesn't matter what he's in the Wednesday Cup, whatever. It doesn't matter where he is. It's always out on first. Somehow he managed to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Practice and all.
Practice and all, absolutely. And as we see, we've got 22 drivers in the grid at the moment in the server. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good number here. Considering we had 35 last week, we've had a few drop off, which is not good to see. But I'm sure they'll be back at some point along the season. It's a long out lap.
All 2 minutes of it, Chris. Yeah. All 2 minutes. And more. Because by the time you get around here, ladies and gentlemen, you're doing a 1 minute 57, minute 58 qualifying speed time delta, effectively, because there is, as you said, 15 turns, but it is a long bastard of a track. So it takes a while, but it's worth the wait. As they say, patience is a virtue around here, and by the look of it, I'll tell you what, there's no patience on Nick Mello because he will be flying out there. He'll be wanting to get up the top. He was one of the quickest drivers in practice as well. And speaking of practice too, Chris, from whatever your middle name is, Munro, I've forgotten it. There's been only a tenth between first and third in the hot laps around the practice server. So qualifying is going to be as tight as a Greek's pocket, and in the time department, and I reckon it's going to be a belter.
Oh, it certainly is, and it's shaping up that way, as you can see in the practice server earlier. Everyone was just you could chuck a blanket over nearly all of them. I'm looking for the man who was fastest during the week. That is Luke Newing. So keep an eye on him in the Volvo, number 94, because he is the man that has set the pace early this week, and all the boys have been chasing him since then. But I tell you what, there's a couple of blokes to look out for in VF Commodores, and that's Mello and his teammate. Where is he now? Mr. Alex McEwen.
Where is he?
He's back there somewhere. He doesn't quite have the NASA grade computer that his teammate does, so he's not quite on track as quick. He's out there, and he will certainly be one to watch during this race. Looking for others who to watch. Pascal Hein. He's been a bit of a dark horse there. Our German compatriot joining us from from the other side of the planet.
I'll tell you what, he is. He might be on the other side of the friggin' world, but he is here, and he is quick.
Yeah.
I don't know where his passion has come from in the V8 supercars, but he might be an old BTCC fan from back in the day in Europe. But he is super quick. At first race at Townsville in round 1, a fortnight ago, he placed himself in 7th in his first ever race. Now that is some sort of some wizardry and witchcraft, I would say. But he is on, and no better teammate to have in the pit box than last season's champion, Chris, in Matthew Cotter, who has come back, and so has his long-term battling on-track compatriot in Alex McEwen. He is also back, ladies and gentlemen. So our top 2 fastest drivers did not attend round 1. So the rest of the championship season is going to be absolutely spicy as hell, as we see the first laps being, I guess, circulated around, and we're already nearly at full qualifying pace with a 58.1, if you don't mind, from Nick Mallow. He's got 7 tenths already between himself and Shaggy Smith, and then now Harley Marshall comes across the line and pips Shags for second position with a 158.7, and then look at that, an official B stick for our mate Alex McEwen, Chris Munro. What a lap so far.
The words from the super coach there. You got to watch out for these boys in the VF Commodore, because they are quick and they are always cherry ripe and ready. Speaking of somebody else who is cherry ripe and ready, Mr. Thomas Wilson, our championship leader at the moment from round 1. They're in the Nismo colours. Only lonely Nissan out there on the grid. I can't believe there's not more of them. But here he is. He's rocking the he's rocking the Japanese brand all on his own. And I tell you what, he's one to watch, because even on a bad day, Tommy Wilson's going to be up there in the top 5. So I reckon he'll be cherry ripe and one to watch. He's actually gone purple in the first sector, so we're gonna ride on board now and see how he tackles it down now into turn 8. The tight little hairpin drops it down to second gear, I assume. No, he goes down to first even. He's got a bit of traffic there on his left, but he just dodges that nicely around to turn 9 and 10, which is a very tricky little section here. You want to just float the car out and duck it back in again, getting on the power as soon as you can, because this little straight is a nice little spot to make up some time as he goes up through the gears into 5th. Might even grab 6th before we get to turn 11. We're not going to find out, but he does not. He goes down into 4th, into turn 11, this long sweeping left-hander. Hard to maintain the tyre temps around this little sector, because the tyres are absolutely screaming by the time you get out of this little sector here. Big, long sweeping turns, big little bit of a squirrel action on the entry into 13. And off he goes down that little straight again on the hunt into the final sector now. He's just dropped about half a tenth in Sector 2, and he'll be looking to claim that back in Sector 3. Meanwhile, Pascal Hine has moved up into 3rd position. Oh, geez, that might be an off-track excursion there for Wilson. We're going to find out if that's invalidated or not. If not, he's got it right to the bloody edge, and he goes up to 4th with a 158.4, sorry.
Yeah, bloody brilliant stuff from Pascal Hine there, as you said. Tommy Wilson still 2 tenths off, at least 2.5, nearly 3 tenths off the lead too, Chris. So he'll be looking to consolidate any sort of form, because with only really 2 laps to go for himself, he better get his ass out there if he wants to get some sort of time on the board, because that time that he did not count. It's not there. So he's going to do another banker lap and then a qualifying lap with only 2 to go. Those tyres tend to come on around the 3rd or 4th lap of your super soft stint. So I think Tommy Wilson's in a bit of trouble.
He might be, but he's just rejoined the server as that's a cheeky little thing. A server rejoin is quicker than doing an in-lap. So we might get the race directors onto that. we can't have the whole server just dipping out and ducking back in again. As we're following Lawrence Smith at the moment, he's not on for a personal best yet, but this is, I think he's come in for another outlap. So Shaggy Smith sitting in the top 6 provisionally, 158.8. Still looking for the first man to drop into the 57s. Who's it going to be? I'm going to say, oh, geez, it's either going to be Cotter or Newing, I think. These are the 2 guys to watch out for. Cotter and Newing. Cotter's cherry ripe. He loves these kind of big open GP-style circuits as well. So I think that might play into his driving style.
Yeah, I think so. But now he's had some lap traffic there, Chris. So he's coming into the pits right as we speak now. And that is going to be spicy because with only 3 minutes, 37 seconds to go, he will only get another lap and one more to do a flyer so he can get an actual time on the board because he won't be happy with the 58.9. He was doing 57 eights or sevens, I think it was, in the practice service. So he has got some genuine pace. But time is running out for sure, and that wasn't his fault either, mind you. He got held up by an errant falcon in Nathan Hughes, just doing his best impression of Southernats on the final turn of the circuit on his outlap. So we try not to have that as well.
Absolutely. As we see, Lawrence Smith has actually gone purple in the first sector, ladies and gents. He's got that Merc hooked up. Despite what it looks like on screen, he had a fair bit of counter steer and he was crossed up a little bit there coming out of turn 8. But he's managed to gather it up, and we're going to see what kind of time he puts down here in the second sector coming up. But he's still purple and he's on for a 156.4. I don't know if that's correct, ladies and gentlemen, because that is absolutely flying. He must have... he must have cut a corner there or somewhere or along the line because that is absolutely outrageous. He's a second and a half down in the second sector. I think our timing board is playing a little bit of funny games here. But I guess we can only find out once he crosses the line for the final time as we drop down into the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds of qualifying. The pressure's starting to rise on these drivers, Zach O'Reilly.
They are, very much so. Tommy Wilson's just about to round the final corner to consolidate his first lap. Sorry, here he is. I'm behind. I was looking at the wrong guy. So he's going to do his final lap here to get himself up into some sort of podium place because he is a good 6-7 tenths off where he would want to be in that department. So we'll see where he ends up with 1:50 to go. But Pascal Hine is rounding for his outlap as well. And Lockie Grant's in the pit. So top 5 at the moment, Chris. Getting pressure cooked. Absolutely right at this point. The air fryer's turned on. They're thinking, shit, it's nearly about time to pull me out, and the owner is not coming out. I think they'll be a bit overdone by the end of this session if they don't get any better. Especially our man from last round, Stephen Marsden too. He is going to be wanting to be a lot closer to the front of the grid than he is now in 10th and 59.2s. That's a fair bit of a gap there. But pressure is definitely building and rising for everyone on track.
Yeah, about 1 second covering the top 10 at the moment, which is a bit wider than we're used to. But because it is basically a 2-minute lap, you can sort of cut that in half and say it's around a regular Aussie circuit. It's about a half a tenth. It's about half a second. So Alex is purple in all 3 sectors, and that is the first 57 of the day. A 157.8 at the death. Alex McEwen, Mr. Cool and Collected, gets the job done so far, and he puts himself on pole. Is there anyone out there who can reply? Luke Newen gets himself up into the top 5 as we speak. He'll have one more go at it, as will Cotter, as you see him crossing the line as well. We might just ride on board with Luke Newing and see if he can get anywhere back to his practice pace, which was a 157.7, and that will be enough to get pole. But we're going to just find out now as we're riding on board with him as we speak.
Geez, it's tight. And also Pascal Hine is on a PB for his own personal best here too. So look out for him. He's coming through in third. There might be a 57 on for him as well as Luke Newing. What's Tommy Wilson doing? He's not going anywhere. He's done a 59.1. So he's out. Oh, he's actually going to get one more lap. He just got across the line.
Did he?
So look out. There could be a final dash here, Chris Munro.
Final dash here for the boys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Final dash indeed. We're still on with Luke Newing here. He's got I think that's Jesse Marshall, or maybe it's Harley Marshall, one of the MBR boys there in front of him. Whether that's going to be whether they're going to get in his way or not, we're going to find out very shortly as we're about halfway around this lap at the moment. Nick Mello's had enough. He has pulled it into the pits, and that will be him in second position provisionally, as the session has not finished yet. Lockie Grant's had enough. Lawrence Smith's done enough.
Whoa!
Pascal Hine to the top by 9 tenths. Oh, actually, no, it's 8 tenths. 8 thousandths. That's an official flea stick. There we go. There's a bit of German efficiency for you. And the only man can do it is Luke Newing, but he is down on his delta, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think he's going to get there. Alex McEwen goes better again with a 157.708. Oh boy, that is almost the fastest time we've seen around this place. Luke Newing coming. Oh, he actually has gone purple in the second sector. He goes up to fourth, but that's not enough. So that is the top four set in concrete as we stand. Thomas Wilson is probably going to be the last man over the line, so we're going to follow him around and see what he can do.
He's up. He is up. He's going to, well, he's up on the personal best. He's done purple middle sector too, Chris Munro. So the last lap dash, but he's going to be down. He's only going to get a 58.2, which will move him up. But if he can gain a tenth or two here on the last corner, he might put himself into third on the grid. So we'll find out what happens here. Is he going to be able to top that car early enough? He is, and his delta is down. He's just absolutely blitzed that last corner. He's 3/10 up on his best. He's going to dip into the 57s here, I reckon, ladies and gentlemen, if not bloody close. Where is that going to put him? What did he do? He was on for them.
Yeah,
he was on.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
he just stopped before the line. I'm not sure what the hell happened there, Chris. What the friggin'...
I wonder if he ran out of fuel maybe 50 metres before the line. Something maybe
that's
like
incredible.
That. Yeah, he was down. I was watching it. It was a 158 flat, which would have put him up onto the second row regardless, but in front of Nick Mello. But there you go, ladies and gents. That's the way the cookie crumbles here in qualifying. Absolute blanket thrown over the top 10. There's 157.7 or 158. So it's again about a second between the top 10. Alex McEwen claiming the cookies this time with Pascal Hine in second position on the grid. Nick Mello and Thomas Wilson will be starting off the second row with Luke Newing and Matt Cotter behind them. Lockie Grant and Harley Marshall, the ex-teammates, this year trying for something a bit different. Harley going with his brother and Lockie Grant with another person. So we'll see if there's any love lost between those two off the starting grid. Adam Betts and Lawrence Smith make your top 10, ladies and gentlemen.
What a qualifying session. How's that for the death?
Yeah.
Literally just before our eyes, we were seeing times drop and we're going, oh, well, that's it all over. And then bang comes through Pascal Hine, and then bang goes Alex McEwen. In the words of Rex Hunt himself, that was some yibbity stuff by Alex McEwen. He just said, nah, I'm taking the lap record off anyone in the practice. So that's quicker than anyone in practice, mind you, too, Chris Munro.
No, it wasn't. No.
Yes.
Luke
No?
Luke Newing went quicker by 4 thousandths.
Oh,
have you know?
Gee, okay,
Yep.
well,
So-
talking about Bees Dick territory, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a game.
Well,
it's a game of thousands here on OK Racing. I'll let you sign it off.
It is too. Jeez Louise. But we will be back for race one very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Go get your cups full because it is going to be an absolute rip snorter of a weekend so far. And the first race is a 11-lap sprint. No, it's not. I'm getting it wrong. 16 laps, sorry. And it's a mandatory compound change. So go get them all filled up, get your bickies done and dusted, and sit down and relax. We'll be right back here on Sim Social TV for round one of the Supercars.
Mom and Dad fighting someone's wasted. Underage, I wish that I was older. But it's so good, 'cause someone's coming over. My brother bought us a six-pack. Bad smokes and a car stop, we don't care. My brother bought us a six-pack. To share, to share, to share. Hanging out, drinking in the basement. I got a job, I work it all the time. Overage, I wish that I was younger. It's all good, age is just a number. My brother bought us a six-pack. Bad smokes and a Costco, we don't care. My brother bought us a six-pack. To share, to share, to share. Six-pack. 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 Packing up, moving out the basement. Mom and Dad, they're fighting all the time. Got a place where no one's ever sober. It's all good, 'cause now we're coming over. My brother bought us a six-pack. Bad smokes and a Costco, we don't care. My brother bought us a six-pack.
We're back, ladies and gents. We're almost ready for a start here in race 1. We've got 3 minutes to go, so we've got a little bit of time. We're going to go and check out our driver standings after round 1. And as you can see, it is tight. We got Thomas Wilson on top with 247 points. And guess who's behind him? Nick Mello on 246. So there is nothing in between those two guys, whether it be in the standings or on track. Those guys are locked horns again. Stephen Marsden up there in third, only 30 points behind, with Luke Newing and Brandon Pearce joining him. Ferguson, Smith, Grant, McFadden, Garrick making out your top 10, with Pascal Hine we've seen now on the front row, so he's going to move up, I think, if he can keep things together. Harley Marshall, Brody Sharp, Adam Betts, Hayden Cook, Jesse Marshall, Dane Licciardo, we're not seen in the server today, or Guy Duff, but he's watching along the stream. Good day to you, sir. James Claypole and Nathan Hughes make up your top 20. And we're going to have a look at from 21 to 35. Take it away, Zach O'Reilly. I think it's Brad Turby on 21st.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Turby's in there. We've just had a server disconnection, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll keep talking while that all craps on.
Yep.
In the background there, Bradzik Turby on 51 points. Dostal, Scully, Brown, and Waters, all very, very close there. Look, there's only 5 points between those two. And we've got Andre Elliott, Schmerley, Brian Smith Longley, and Lockie Costa rounding out the top 30. Jimmy Park in 31st. Chris Eckert in 32nd with 4 points. And then our non-points getters from last round, Clayton Pine, Logan Ray, and Lancaster. Now, if you're thinking, shit, where is people number 1 and 2 that are anonymous to this in Matthew Cotter and Alex McEwen and Christopher Munro? They did not race. So they are not here on this points table. But where are they going to finish up after this round? It's anyone's bet. But if anything's to go by, they will definitely be in the top 20. They don't have an absolute shocker. And it's just going to be playing catch up tonight for the rest of the season for those two gents.
Kind of reminds me of every V8 Supercar league that I ever competed in. Would absolutely just make a mess of round 1 and spend the rest of the season catching up. So it's sort of the par for the course around here. I don't know if anyone's led from go to woe, but I guess that's what Thomas Wilson's going to be trying to do. I'll tell you what, those boys are going to have a tough time catching Tom, because not only did he have a cracking first round, but he's on song here as well. So those boys have certainly got their work cut out. We're going to have a look at the team standings now as well. And I'll tell you what, the Volvo boys are going to be happy because Rolling Moose Racing. Jesus Christ. That's Andrew Ferguson and Stephen Marsden of Rolling Moose Racing on top, over the top of Ben's Racing Division, which is Piercy and Shaggy. As in front of Mobile One Racing. But I think that's Grant, and I forget who's the other person. We're going to get their names in there for next time, because
Grant Marshall.
It's very hard to. No, Marshall's part of MBR.
Oh, Marshall's with his only thing. Yeah, he is
that's
too.
right. So it's all changed here for this season. Season 11 of the AK Racing V8 Supercar Series. Underclass Motorsports there on 4th. That is Thomas Wilson and I think Cooper Hanare, who's not been seen yet this season. So Tommy Wilson's certainly flying the flag for Underclass Motorsport. And Project 4, our Season 10 victors, they're sitting poised in 5th position.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting, that top 5 team championship standings list, because we would see a lot of people and a lot of points just be really, really close, because you have both competitors on track or the normal sort of teammate situation. There has been some Brody Kostecki-esque movements in the off-season here at AK Racing. And see that number 10 down the bottom in Senator Fenn Motorsport, that is just one man alone and a debutant for us in round 1. That's all Pascal Hine, because his teammate is Matthew Cotter for the season. So let's have a look where they will be at the end of this season. For sure, they'll be up there.
Well,
at any rate.
That's a team to watch.
That's a pairing
for sure.
and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be they're going to be taking it to Project 4 and perhaps Rolling Moose as well as this season progresses. And I hope everyone at home follows along for the journey. If you want to keep in touch with when we go live, just hit that subscribe button there at your bottom of your screen and click the little thumbs up or the notifications bell or whatever you want to get live, up to date, in real time notifications when the channel goes live here at Sensational TV. We've got 1:26 to race one, Zach O'Reilly. I'm getting excited.
Oh, getting excited! I love it. I love it. There's some good-looking cars there on the front row as well, with a beautiful Farmers Union iced coffee livery there with Pascal Hine I'll call it a purple people eater. I can't see it from here and what his is at the moment. Then his teammate behind, Nick Mellow's teammate is behind him, Tommy Wilson with the only lonely Nissan just sitting there on the grid in 5th position. Luke Newing is 6th. Matthew Cotter is 7th. Lockie Grant, Harley Marshall, and Adam Betts are your top 10 to round out the starting decade of the grid there, if you will. And what's your prediction, Chris? After I tell you what mine is, you give me yours. I'm going to give Pascal Hine the benefit of the doubt here, and he's going to have an absolute rip snort. I'm tipping a win for him.
Tipping a win for the newcomer. That is, well, I mean, you can't go against it. He's put himself up there in an absolute winning position. He's got the inside run, though it be about half a car's length behind our pole sitter, Alex McEwen, on the outside. We're just going to see if he can just poke that nose up the inside there for turn 1 and make a bit of a race out of this. But I'm going to have to go with my trusty old mate there on the outside, Alex McEwen. He's done enough to get pole. So he'll be hoping to convert that into a win here for his first time out in Season 11. But as you can see, we've got all the lights up, and we're about to get all the lights out here in Race 1. And we are racing, ladies and gentlemen, and that's actually a cracking start from Alex McEwen. He has gapped Pascal Hine at the moment. Pascal just moves across to try and get a bit of... there's oh, my goodness, there is absolute chaos in the background here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's happening. We're going to just try and get a look at that. It's not going to work. That is Lawrence Smith turned around. Everyone else is having a bit of a shot. Oh, my goodness, what a start there. I think we're going to have a safety car, perhaps, ladies and gents. There is no safety car call yet, but the still cars turned around in the background, as you can see. Volvo and Shaggy Smith as well. Someone must have just spun it out off the start and just had an absolute shocker there, Zach O'Reilly.
I saw a Volvo literally get pit manoeuvred there, Chris, and I cannot tell you who it was. It was one of the first ones on the grid to start the race, and that is disaster for whoever was involved. And I can see on board here now, on the other screen that we've got Shaggy Smith's Mercedes has got steering damage, so he will be straight into the pits after this round. So is Bradsky Turby there too in 25th. He's 100% out, but everyone else is just full hammer and tong here. There is no safety car called. Yellow flags all the way around, but geez Louise, it's incredible what has gone on there in the first 10 metres.
Who knows? It's times like these you wish you had a bit of a replay function here on AC. Actually, it looks like the cars are going slowly. We do have a... Do we have a safety car? I do not know. I've just turned off OSRW, so I've got no idea. No, it looks like they're going full pace at the moment, so it is line astern. These guys back here are just battling it out. There's Clayton Pine now with Brandon Pierce all over the back of him at the moment, coming into turn 13, dipping it in. That, tell you what, that Mercedes looks pretty nice. The sort of monster-flavoured purple and blue and green and pink. It's got everything. But here goes Brandon Pierce just sliding up the inside of Clayton Pine, and he will get up to 13th position. I don't know if Brandon Pierce got tangled up in a bit of that mess, but he's probably a bit further back than he's used to down there. In 13th position, Harley Marshall and Adam Betts battling it out as well, Zach O'Reilly.
Yep, it's looking absolutely spicy out there for sure. We've got plenty of people circulating with damaged cars. I'm not sure what the hell is going to happen here for them. But by Gene goes, it's just one of those events where you just can't pick what's going to happen. And at the track, Chris, where there is the most runoff I've ever seen, there's about 150,000 acres of it. And everyone seemed to come together there. It's just a bit dirty, if you don't mind me saying. Not probably the ideal start to a round that we've seen here at AK Racing.
No, I mean, and off the start line too. So there wasn't even a turn to throw into the mix there. It was just, I think someone just gassed it up a bit too much and maybe just spun it out off the line, which is easily done in these machines, mind you. But I tell you what, a little bit of awareness goes a long way off the start grid. A little flash there from Harley Marshall to, who's that in front of him? Lachlan Grant. So maybe a little bit of communication there between the old teammates.
Yes. Yep. That is incredible stuff happening there for sure. We've got plenty of battles going on too, Chris, if you don't mind. In the background there, Tommy Wilson and Matthew Cotter are literally hammer and tong, bees dick sort of stuff between them, coming around the final 4 turns of the lap. And Matt Cotter is just going to be one of those, flick it up the inside, give some of Tommy Wilson's medicine back to him, shove that down your throat, my old champ. And this could be a battle for the ages here when we see another lap circulated here. We've got 2 out of 16 gone. And with all of this happening in the background of cars spinning out and doing their best Swan Lake impressions of pirouetting and sliding all over the stage that they are on, it could be anyone's race here.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you'd be hard-pressed to get any more entertainment here. We've got Matt Cotter just sliding up the inside now of Thomas Wilson. Thomas Wilson gives him plenty of room and just says, you know what, you can have this for now, but I'm going to argue the point around the outside of turn 1, which gives me the inside for turn 2. The little kink flick and pushes Matt Cotter off the track. He's going to have to rejoin safely. Gets a little bit squirrely off the curbs, but there goes Matt Cotter back into 4th position to fight another day with Thomas Wilson. These two are probably I'm going to say they're the most aggressive drivers on the grid. So we're guaranteed for a bit of entertainment here, ladies and gentlemen at home.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. With these two, yellow versus grey, Japan versus Australia. And it's all going to be happening here with these guys. They are both take no prisoners sort of races. And when it comes to any mistake, as you just seen Tommy Wilson do, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. All you need is a little bit of a sniff. And Matt Cotter just sneaks into the depths of the wows with the smell of blood and bites the hell out of that Nissan and takes the style off the car, if you don't mind. But that runs wide too in the process. He's done an absolute no mistakes there until that corner and give himself no favour of a advantage, because Wilson's back up the inside. He's going to take the move up under here into the, I think it's turn 12 or 13, I can't remember.
Turn 11.
And not if Matt Cotter has turn 11. Matt Cotter has got anything to say about it, Christopher. He's coming around again to have another go, but there is not enough overlap there so far. But that hangs Wilson wide, and see you later, says Wilson. But nearly absolutely sideswiped there by Cotter. Cotter's still up the inside. What is Wilson going to do? Is he going to switch it back? What is he going to do? He's going to do a try and switch back up down this back straight. He's got the suck, ladies and gentlemen. The hookers are going absolutely wild here. This is close and dangerous stuff here coming into the final turn. That is some overlap underneath braking. No one's blinking, but Cotter's going to have to give some room there. But then he's going to go for the switchback again. And here we go, line of stern, repeat, Groundhog Day sort of style. And Matthew Cotter's going to take a drag race down here for turn 1. Chris, when we get down there, by jingoes, I'm going to run out of breath.
Yeah, you've probably done it already. You can tell you're a non-smoker, Zachary. But here we go down into turn 1. He can, side by side again. These blokes have been banging doors for the last 2 laps. You cannot get any better racing anywhere in the country here at the moment. These guys, not only are they fast, but they're giving each other nice and respectful amount of room here as well on track. But how long will that last for? Because these two are side by side again up into turn 4. Matt Cotter has the advantage as we speak. But Tommy Wilson is right there under the back wing, just giving him something to think about all the way down into this little section of 5, 6 and 7. He might even have a look at maybe a bit of a dive up into 8, because that is a good little braking zone. But as we've seen in the past, Matt Cotter very confident under brakes, Zach O'Reilly.
He is very confident, and none more than Tommy Wilson either. It's basically, I would say, if you had them on FIFA right now, ladies and gentlemen, you'd have them all on the same stat points, 95 all round, I reckon, in every department, overtaking, undercutting, and everybody's still going at it. You just can't pick a winner here. If you're a punting man, you would be in trouble here, I reckon. You'd probably have him as a quaddie somewhere, but geez Louise, close up. And now Tommy Wilson's having another good jingle up the inside, and he's not going to go for it unless Cotter looks his brakes and runs too wide, and he does that. But he's not going to invite Wilson up the inside. It will, but Wilson will be disadvantaged again. It's bloody Groundhog Day all over again here, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening here with these two drivers? They are loving life. Matthew Cotter says, welcome back, son. I'm here. And give you some of your medicine, Tommy Wilson. And, what a little battle this is going to be for the rest of the race, I would say, unless something goes horribly pear-shaped, Chris Munro.
Well, I think the chances of that happening are just getting better and better the longer that these two guys battle. Oh, jeez, not much there. Cotter shuts the door into the final turn. Says, no, thank you. You're not doing that this time, my friend. I'm going to try and just shuffle off down the straight. And now the biggest gap that has been between these two guys is happening currently for the last 3 laps. They've been just door to door. Can Tommy just make more of a battle out of it, or does he just choose to maybe just sit behind Cotter for a little while, maybe get those lap times back to under 2 minutes? Because I tell you what, that last lap was a 2-minute flat 0.4, which is inviting Nick Mello back into this into this battle. As you can see him in the background there, Tommy Wilson probably just wants to just take his foot off the burner just for a little while, just to let Cotter maybe catch up to his teammate in Pascal Hine. They've dropped 4 seconds to him over the last 3 laps, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a perfect example of battling and how much it compromises you in the lap times department.
Yep, absolutely, Chris. You can't say anything better myself with those sort of words coming out of your glorious vocal tones there.
Oh.
Expert stuff from the comments from the Supercoach.
Oh,
What did I miss?
Ferguson right up under Pierce's wing at the moment.
Well, we just watching that on the other screen too. We missed a bit of action there here with all the stuff happening at the front. Stephen Marsden was in 10th, then got absolutely punted sideways by Adam Betts, which then Adam Betts tried to redress. And Fergo's around. He's doing his 360 as I speak. We've got to get off him, Chris Munro. That is a horrible commentator's curse, if I've ever seen one. And, it's just been disaster down there. It was Pierce had a beautiful move up the inside of Marsden. Marsden got it all done. Adam Betts came through and yeeted him off. Then Fergo took advantage of that, and then Fergo spun out. That's all happened within 3 corners, ladies and gentlemen. What a recap.
Well, it all happens here. We don't need a replay function. We've got Zach O'Reilly. We've got we have Stephen Marsden right up behind Adam Betts, and who's that? Clayton Pine as well in the Volvo. Both, this is a little 3-way sandwich. It's about to be joined by a 4th in Lawrence Smith in behind there with these guys. Just absolutely nose to tail at the moment here. What a glorious circuit for racing. There's just so many lines. Here comes Marsden. He pulls out of the slipstream on Pine. He's going to get down the inside here at, where are we? Gee whiz, turn...
final turn.
Yeah. It's hard to tell on this track, but there we go. Marsden's got that position done, but Pine says, you know what? I'm going to just argue this point a little bit. So these guys are now neck and neck up the main straight. Pine has the advantage of being on the inside. Adam Betts sees these guys battling in his mirrors and says, thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to skip away while you guys just sort of battle it out between yourselves, you Volvo lads behind you. Stephen Marsden just cuts the nose off Clayton Pine and says, see you later, mate. I've got the IKEA all packed up in the boot, and I'm going to get home and put that flat pack furniture together, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, speaking of flat pack, the people up the front will be having flat pack fucking super soft tyres in a second.
Yes.
It's been six laps, ladies and gentlemen, on those tyres with Alex McEwen, Pascal Hine and Matt Cotter, all in our top 3 and all on super softs. Everyone else behind them has given up the ghost nearly and said, no, that's enough. These gentlemen will be coming in soon, so keep an eye out for what this will happen strategy-wise. We're going to see people run an 8-lapper.
Here's a move for the lead.
And that is Pascal Hine coming through for the lead too, as I'm rambling on. But he's on the disadvantaged line for this sort of style of corner, and he's still nearly lost it there, ladies and gentlemen. But Alex McEwen is defending for his life because the German is all over him. I reckon Alex McEwen's thinking that's Michael Schumacher behind him. He's thinking he's Rubens Barrichello, because here comes Pascal Hine for a race lead here, ladies and gentlemen. I called it early.
You did.
Is it going to be the trend for the rest of the race, Chris Munro? But who's going to pit first? Are we going to see an overlap here, or is Alex McEwen going to give him the dummy and say, oh, yeah, I'm pretending? No, he's not. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Death Punch style, for these two guys to come around. Will they come in for the next lap? Is Matt Cotter going to pit behind him? No, he's not either. So still, 7 laps. It's definitely a double super soft go here for our top 3 drivers. Pascal Hines ran wide and lost. He's gone under braking, and that is it. We've commentator cursed the poor bastard once more time. We just can't even. We can't do it here, Chris. We've just got to get off every single person.
Can't take it.
It happens every single time. But now Matt Cotter's going to be all over the back of him, Chris. How is this going to pan out for Pascal, you reckon?
Well, they're sitting in a group in their team voice channel at the moment, so they'll be going over their strategies as well. Probably talking about what kind of pace they can get out of these 6-lap-old, well now 7-lap-old super softs, and maybe coming to a conclusion that's probably best for the team. And I can guarantee you both of them will be putting their cases forward to keep the positions as they are, but we might just see maybe a little bit of inter-team battling coming up.
Yep, I could say that's probably what's going to happen, but at the same time, Pascal has had the ghost on Matt Cotter for this race and for the practice servers, mind you. But in saying that, there is a bit of rust there for Cotter, so inter-team championship battling here, I don't think there's going to be any love lost between these two. I reckon this is going to be just like a beautiful developing flower. Alex McEwen's ran wide as I'm talking, and Pascal's going to have an opportunity to take the lead back. His tyres are absolutely carked on those and that VF Commodore. I would say ZB just goes up the inside. Is there contact? There is a bit of nudging and barging and whatever. Who's going to blink first? This is a difficult corner to navigate too wide at the best of times, let alone one. And Pascal and Alex McEwen are literally neck and neck, but there is a bit of overlap here for Matt Cotter too, so he's inviting himself into the battle here. Surely there's not going to be any inter-team disruptions happening with contact for sure. I wouldn't say so. Everyone gets the final turn beautifully there. And who's going to blink first? I think Pascal's coming into the pits. Yes, so is Alex McEwen. Well. Cotter's doing a Daft Punk and doing it one more time.
Well, here we go. This is time now for to see how our undercuts are going to work out here on track. Alex McEwen, very smart behind the wheel, very good races IQ, as we've seen in the past. He usually plans his pit strategies down to an absolute T. So we're going to see, just keep an eye on that when they come out and when Matt Cotter comes in, how much ground they've actually made, because on that outlap is what it all comes down to. Whether they can get a nice clean outlap, Pascal and McEwen, because they're both going to be out there battling as well, which is probably not ideal. Alex McEwen, as you can see, has come out maybe a second and a half in front of Pascal, and with a bit of clear air in front of him. That is an absolute stroke of genius there from Alex McEwen in the pit department. So we might just see another change for the lead once Cotter comes out, because his last lap was a 2:04. Holy moly, if Alex can do anything better than that, he will be certainly in good stead to take a decent lead once Cotter comes back out of the pits.
I can't believe that Matt Cotter is still managing to drive the thing. In the strategy department, we do some laps around here, Chris Munro, just to see what the racing is going to be for a format standpoint. And I 100% couldn't get past 6 laps without my car just saying, no, thank you, I'm just turning into a pirouette machine after 6. So for him to be going around at 8 is incredible. And this will be 9 laps by the time he gets to the pit lane on a set of super softs. Yeah. That's some feat in itself. But yeah, as you said, what is the delta going to be between these two? Those softs do take a little bit to get up to temp, but it's all relative anyway, because by the time Cotter comes out of the pits, he's going to have his own battle with those two gentlemen behind him right at this point on nice and warm super. Oh no, Cotter's just danced his way into the last corner. Oh my goodness gracious me, that is some scary stuff. But he'll be coming in now, Chris. Yeah,
we'll see Cotter come in now, and I tell you what, that battling with Marsden and Betts here is not helping McEwen's cause in any way whatsoever. But when Cotter comes out, I've got a feeling he's going to be just a little way in front of these guys, as Cotter is now stopped, and he will be almost moving again within the next couple of seconds. Here he goes. He is moving now. We're going to just try and just move the camera out onto the track. I cannot see Alex McEwen. There he is off in the distance, and here is Cotter. So Cotter's going to come out, I think, a long way in front of Alex McEwen now. Actually, is that McEwen coming into the pits again?
What's McEwen doing?
He has. He's dipped into the pits again. He's coming out. He might be changing his...
No, he got a drive-through. He's got a drive-through for speeding, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, even it happens to the best.
Yep.
Happens to the best.
And so that overcut now has worked for Cotter, because he is he's got 3 cars in between him and Pascal Hine. Before they came into the pits, you can see Pascal back there in the distance behind Adam Betts. But those guys aren't in the same race, as Betts, Mello and Marsden and Marshall and Grant all still yet to pit. So they're going to come back out on some super softs and make a bit of a race of this. But I tell you what, Cotter, going that one extra lap proved to be the difference here today.
Oh, what a strategy call on his behalf.
Yep.
I wonder why he was he did that and his teammate didn't, because you are allowed to double stack in the pits here, ladies and gentlemen, at AK Racing. We gave permission to our drivers to do that, and there's no collisions in the pits either. So there you go. Well, I wonder what happened there, but maybe Pascal had enough. He didn't feel confident enough, just being the newbie that he is, on those dying super softs to take that risk. So maybe a bit of risk aversion, Chris, which is very, very high IQ racing. And luckily, he might have seen that on the real penalty or PLP or something in his apps that Alex McEwen did get a drive-through as well. So he sort of in cruise control mode here for the moment, just letting himself get past whoever he needs to whenever, because he is effectively in second.
Yeah, absolutely. And, in the grand scheme of things, second is a good place to be. You don't want to go risking that maybe a bin or something, or just a race-ending car injury, or a bit of damage to try and get into first when it's probably just a little bit out of reach for now. So Pascal Hine will be just trying to consolidate that to stay up into second spot. He's got Adam Betts in front of him, who's on an old set of softs. But I think Adam Betts is going to go around again, which he does. So Pascal Hine with his new set of softs, and they're all up to temp. We might just see him pull out of the slipstream here and maybe make a little dive into turn one. Here he goes, ladies and gentlemen, as comments from the Super Coach. He goes up into sixth position on the track at the moment.
Geez, that was close to being disaster, though. We nearly commentated cursed him. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. There was a hell of a battle as well there too, Chris. Nick Mallow and Matt Cotter are going hammer and tong here, and Mallow's not giving him anything because Mallow's on the super soft compound and Cotter's on a soft compound. So it's kind of like a battle of attrition here between these two. How long do those supers last for Nick Mallow to go around? But it'll be interesting to see where that all pans out, because Marsden's sort of chiming into that battle too, and Pascal will be looking to come down and hunt Matt Cotter with no team orders, I would say, if the team is literally on that sense with everyone involved. But no battling is good battling, and racing on is the quickest way to go around, rather than trying to undercut and overcut and whatever you do. So play on resumes here, but our effective leader is Harley Marshall here right at this point in time on those soft tyres. So he'll be coming in shortly, because there is a mandatory compound change here for race one. So they have to go on to a super soft if they start on a soft at some stage, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So let's see where that will put everyone else in sundry. But Nick Mallow, I can't remember what compound he was on, but I reckon he started on a soft, because he's definitely coming around right now on very healthy looking super softs, if I can say that by the car behaviour, Chris.
Yeah, I reckon Nick Mallow might have pitted a little bit earlier than everyone else, and has popped these super softs on maybe a couple of laps earlier than everyone else who started on the softs. And so that was how he sort of made some headway through the pack. He's going to be, if he keeps these set of tyres on, he's going to be hurting towards the end of the race. But as we see Harley Marshall now and Lachlan Grant both pulling into the pits, so that'll be 5 laps with those two guys on the super softs, as Nick Miller now overtakes them both to be the effective race leader, with Stephen Marston in behind him. Matt Cotter just poking up the inside as well. So Matt Cotter now is the man to beat in this race. I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, no. I'm pretty sure Nick Mello has pitted. Whoa. So, I've got no idea now. I don't know if he's pitted or not.
I can confirm he has pitted.
All right.
But he did come in earlier, as you said. So he did start on the soft, which would explain his pace difference between everyone for those opening laps in the top 5 department. And he somehow got around all that carnage too that happened in the background. So on the first 10 metres of the race, mind you. So that's where he is sitting. But this is going to be a tough final 5 laps for him, because when he pitted 2 laps before everyone else that we saw in the front didn't, he is going to struggle. We saw 8 laps work, but I don't think 10 is going to work too well. But that's why we love racing, ladies and gentlemen. We see risk takers, we see different strategy calls. We only live and we learn once, and this could be good practice too, mind you, for the next race, because with the next race only being an 11-lap sprint, if you can experiment now and see that you actually get position without having to pit and you can stay on one compound for the whole time and get that delta up, Chris Munro, it actually could be beneficial to do this right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he's got that gap out to 3.2 seconds at the moment with only 5 laps to hold on. You know what? I think the prices at the bookies are starting to shorten for our man Nick Mello here in the lead. Obviously, his tyres are going to let go within the next couple of laps, but how long can he just keep this pace up? The last lap was a 1:58.4. That's pretty hot pace there from Nick Mello. That gap's just going to keep getting bigger as Matt Cotter behind does a 2-minute flat. So he's 2.5 seconds quicker than Matt Cotter. Sorry, 1.5 seconds quicker than Matt Cotter at the moment. So that gap is just stretching with 4 laps to go. Nick Mello might have just done an absolute stroke of genius here in the strategy department to put his best foot forward to win this first race of the night.
He might be having some other strokes after the race if he gets this one under the bank as well there, Chris Munro, if you don't mind. And it's going to be interesting to see if those super softs do hold on. But if they don't, well, he tried. If they do, what have you got to lose? You've got absolutely nothing to lose, and anything but a race win, obviously. But still, what a good privilege to see him doing what he's doing best at the moment, and that is setting 158s, ladies and gentlemen. In saying that, our closest battle on track here, we'll keep focusing on that, is for 7th between Lachlan Grant and Alex McEwen, who is on softs, and Lachlan Grant is on supers. So that drive-through that Alex McEwen had to serve has set him back further down here, but the compound is just an absolute game-changer around here with all these long, sweeping turns. You need the grip and that apex mid-corner speed.
We've got Betts and Marsden here, door handle to door handle here now, coming into, where are we? The turn 8 hairpin. That's Betts up into 9th position now, just overtakes our man Stephen Marsden. So that's 4th position, and they're both on the same set of tyres as well. So that's disappointing to see for Marsden. He had such a good round last time. As we see him now just sort of going back through the field, he's around the same spot from where he qualified in. So there might not be any sick days for Marsden tomorrow morning. What do you think?
I don't know about the sick days for him. I reckon he's used them all up after last week. Or last round, sorry. He was singing to the high hills. I could hear him here in Victoria. You definitely would have heard him. It would have been like he's partying next door to you, being up there in Queensland. But not getting the chockies tonight here at Bahrain. Not the track for him. He loves the circuit. He's been giving me feedback. Just can't get back to Volvo to be aroused and stick to the ground, and like he would want it to. So unfortunate, but nonetheless, he'll come back for sure, Chris Munro. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He loves it. You can't keep him away. And as we see Brandon Schmell in the AC Karting Pro Sim Centre entry, now coming up behind Lawrence Smith in the Merc, number 22. It's the first we've seen of Brandon Schmell today, and he's making his way up through the field. He's got a set of super softs on, and he is 3 seconds quicker than Smithy around that last time. So we might just see a bit of a send here with that optimal tyre grip being so much better on the super soft when they are up to temp. But he's still got a bit of a job on his hands, because I tell you what, when Shaggy wants to make that Merc a bit wide, he certainly can do so. So he's only got 3 laps to hold on. Whether he can do it, we're going to find out here on Sensational TV.
Yep, absolutely. But in saying that too, Chris Munro, it's a bit hard to make your Mercedes a little bit wider when you've got permanent steering damage from lap 1, that straight incident, whatever you want to call it. I was going to say turn 1, before turn 1. And that is what Shaggy is battling at the moment. He is right hand down at about 40 degrees with steering damage. So it's amazing that he's held on to 12th for this long for himself. And hopefully Schmerley knows about that somehow. And we'll take the chockies there between those two. But it doesn't look like that gap is sort of petered out a little bit, which should bring us back, I would say, here to our man Spewing Newing in 17th position. He has had an absolute bucket session tonight. He's had it in front of him. Mate. He has just, it's been incredible. What have I missed, Chris?
Yeah, well, you're just about to miss him loop it. Oh, he just sort of holds onto it.
I was about to call that.
Yeah, he's held onto it somehow. But he's just making his way up through on a recovery drive at the moment. Ferguson dropping through the field as well as we speak. Something's happened to him along the way. He's got his teammate right in front of him as well. So we might have a few little words over the comms there. Goodness me. It's good to see when teammates get all fired up and on the racetrack especially. But yeah, poor old Newing. Where were we? Poor old Newing. He's been the fastest bloke in practice all week. He's qualified, I think, what was he, top 5?
Yep.
And now he finds himself in 16th. It's such a disheartening thing to happen to you in sim racing. You've done, because especially you've got 2 weeks to practice. So you think you've just got it all sorted out. You're the fastest bloke in the server. You go, oh yeah, how good is this? And then all of a sudden you found yourself turned around on lap 1, and you've got a literal mountain to climb to get back to any sort of decent points haul.
Yeah, it's the old Mount Everest spectrum, isn't it? You've got the clear weather, you can see the peak in front of you, and you're just going, yeah, this is fantastic. You get up there, you're going, I've reached the top. Only timing towers reference there, and then you start making your way back down, and then all just snow just rains hell down upon you, and you're forever descending through the valley into absolute darkness there. If I can reference the, what is that song? Gangster's Paradise reference there. Yeah, by sure. So unfortunate, but he'll be bouncing back for the rest of the round with 2 races to go. Don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see him somewhere up in the top 10 at some stage again this round. No stress about that. And speaking of no stress, Nick Mallow has got that gap out in the lead to 7.5 seconds there, if you don't mind. So that's a good thing to have with 1 lap to go. But Lachlan Grant's also having a look up the inside of Alex McEwen here for 6th. And he's going to get the job done, ladies and gentlemen. That is incredible. Lachlan Grant has got that ZB on song, just battling one of the quickest drivers in AK racing, if you don't mind. And he'll basically be side by side. It's the battle of the downforce here, down the main straight, and a bit of side drafting there too. But this should secure him 6th position on the second last lap of the race. Chris Munro, what a move! What clean driving from those two.
Yeah, I don't think it's over yet. Alex is going to argue the point around the outside, which will give him the optimal spot for that little kink. But Grant just having the momentum and giving me a little bit of a door handle push on the way through. Thank you very much. And that's all within the rules. Thank you, guys, here. But there goes Grant up into 6th position, and he's still got an angry Alex McEwen behind him. Mind you, they are on different sets of tyres, with Grant's last lap being a 1:59.9, and Alex McEwen about half a second slower. So that might just be it for the positions as we speak for maybe the top 10. There's
maybe Pascal Hine here too, though. Chris,
Pascal has made some ground up behind his teammate there at Centre Defend Motorsport with Matt Cotter in front there. He's got the gap down to 4/10, and he's only got maybe another lap to do it. So we might see some fireworks here between the team. It might be a bit frosty in the team chat, perhaps.
I don't know. I think these two will be just, like Vegemite and toast together this year.
I reckon
whoever wins, wins. No love lost. It's fair racing as long as we don't punt each other off or whatever. And that's probably going to be the best opportunity Pascal's ever going to get, because Cotto was doing Tokyo drift into the last corner there. I don't know how the hell he holds on to those slides, Chris. It's just a miracle in itself. But Matt Cotter's not been nice to his teammate. He is weaving down the straight, just saying, nah, not making it easy for you, son. And they will be battling on here for the penultimate lap of this race. Who's going to blink first? Pascal's knocked it all up. He's got completely crossed up. That was nearly disaster there. Is he going to retain third? He still is, because there's a big gap between himself and Tommy Wilson. But that is game, set, and match for second place there between the two teammates. Chris Munro, almost disaster.
Yeah, I could see him just getting, his eyes just got the size of dinner plates there at the end when Matt Cotter just sort of left the inside line open. Pascal just left his braking just maybe 5 metres too late. And once he realised that it wasn't going to happen, he's locked him up and got in all sorts of trouble, almost taking out his teammate. It's good entertainment here on the stream here at Sensational TV on a Sunday night. But we're back here with Nick Mello, who has proven himself to be the strategy king here tonight in race 1 as he comes down the straight after turn 10. He's got maybe half the track to go here to take out the win in race 1. No one's going to touch him. He's got 9 seconds back to Matt Cotter, another 11, 12 seconds back to Pascal Hine. And I tell you what, he's had his finger on the button all night. He's been the first one out in qualifying. Didn't qualify the house down, but I tell you what, he's come forward in the race tonight, Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah, stellar drive, and he's still setting sub 2 minute laps, mind you, on dead super softs, which is a feat in itself, Chris Munro for sure. So he's got the tyre wear down pat here at this point in time with that setup. He's been very kind and just easing the throttle on as he rounds the final corner to take the win here at Bahrain for race 1, and he's going to do some celebratory weaving down. That is a fantastic job there for yourself, Nick Mello. Take a bow. Absolutely brilliant drive. He's stoked with that. Have a look at him. That's fantastic to see.
Yeah, that was great. We it's only once the pit stops all sort of fell out, or all sort of came together, should I say, when he came out on those super softs, we thought, oh, geez, he's been out there for a while on those. But turns out that was the perfect strategy for that. Matt Cotter crosses the line in second, Pascal Hine for third, Tommy Wilson for fourth, Harley Marshall up there in fifth. That's a great result for Harley Marshall. Yeah, absolute drive. He's kept himself out of trouble tonight, shown a good bit of pace, and there he is in the top 5 with Lockie Grant as well. The boys, we've been saying that we've been calling these names for a couple of seasons now. We're saying these guys are the ones to watch coming through, Marshall and Grant, and they're, I'll tell you what a great drive from those guys tonight. Alex McEwen, what could have been? What could have been if it wasn't for the drive-through penalty? Speeding into the pits. But he'll have to be happy with 7th because that's all he's going to get in this race 1 tonight. Adam Betts there in 8th position. The cookie has crumbled well for the Oreo man there. Stephen Marsden. I'm getting everyone confused there tonight. In the number 30 IKEA livery has come up to 9th position, so better than what he qualified. Andrew Ferguson, fresh back from sunny Scotland, gets himself a top 10 finish.
He's sunny Scotland. He got shat on with rain and snow for about a good 4 months, I reckon. I said goodbye to him the day before he left, and that was in 2023, and he's only just been back for 2 weeks, so well done to him. Brandon Pearce in 11th with a right-hand down steering wheel for that whole race. That's sort of what could have been thing for himself there too, Chris. We'll look out for him in race 2 and 3. If he can keep him. So, that was his teammate in Shaggy Smith, who had the right hand down. So both of them light astern, but that'll be a good one to look out for. James Claypole in 13th, great drive. Only Mustang represent out there at this point in time. So apart from Clayton Waters, but he's found himself there in 13th. Brad Schmerley in the AC Karting Volvo 14th. Luke Newing in 15th. Absolutely buckets full of spew. Coming out of his sim rig at this point in time. Brian's cousin has found himself in 16th, which is great to see. He's only just started racing these things, so we'll see him get better for sure. Wednesday Cup, you could call him a veteran nearly now.
He's a specialist there.
Yeah, he's a specialist for sure. Marshall in 17th, Chris Eckert in 18th, the Chef in 19th position, Nathan Hughes in the Falcon in 20th, Clayton Pine, Bradsky Turby, Ollie Longley, and Clayton Waters round out your top 24, ladies and gentlemen, for race 1 of 3.
Absolute cracking round there, or cracking race. And we're going to
have a look at that podium too,
we're just going to go and check out this new feature we've got here. Thanks to Johnny Burton of BCRC Mods and our man Brandon, who has... get out of it, Fergo, you absolute bastard. Boys here. Of course he was going to do something like that. But we've got these little podium spots just to, make a little bit of realism here in the server. But it's good to see, ladies and gents. I'll tell you what, the race has already finished. The server has been vacated. And we've got 2 more races to go, Zach O'Reilly.
I cannot wait. I'm excited. The anticipation gets ever so bigger each time we come out here at Bahrain and in the V8s, mind you. Don't you worry about that, Christopher Munro. We've got a 11-lap sprint coming up, and the starting grid, Chris, is that finishing grid right there. So our top 10 is going to be as follows. We'll see Nick Mello, Matt Cotter, Pascal Hine, Tom Wilson, and Harley Marshall. We'll start from 1st to 5th. Then you've literally got, from there, you've got a gaggle of every single car brand. You've got Lockie Grant in a ZB, Alex McEwen in a VF, Adam Betts in a ZB, Marsden in a Volvo, Fergo in a Volvo as well to round out your top 10. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen. Go refill those drinks and refill the Savoys and some cheese. Come on, Right back with us here on Sensation TV for race 2. This is the hot second.
He's made of bones, he's made of blood, he's made of flesh, he's made of love, he's made of you, he's made of me. Unity! Fear leads to panic, panic leads to pain, pain leads to anger, anger leads to hate. Yada 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 yada, yada 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 yada, the D, the A, the N, the Y, the N, the E, the D, the E, the L, the K, the O, the C, the O, the M, the U, the N, the I, the C, the Y, the S, the O, the F, the U, the C, the K, the Y, the O, and the U, and you, and you, and you. Yada 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 yada, yada 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 yada, Daddy the Delco. Yada 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 yada, yada 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 yada, Daddy the All of my friends need to stop dying. I'm in my 20s and I'm sick of crying. Each one of you should look me in the eye. Promise you'll go to sleep tonight, wake up just fine. And all of my friends that I thought would grow old, now it turns out we get told on Facebook when our good friends have gone away. We share a photo, really, we don't know what to say. All of my friends take lots of photos, and surely that means they are happy in life, but we never know when it'll all come crumbling down. Now when I'm at home alone chopping vegetables, I have pretend conversations with ambulance officers. Please guys, chopped off my fingers, I'm going to pass out. Don't forget there's a baby asleep upstairs. Oh, but for the good grace of God go I, and it is such a shame, Wes, that you had to die. I will try to carry your massive heart in mine, but I know that I will forget
Hey,
some.
Matthew, can you just speak for
Hey,
a
we
second?
are live for race 2s. Should mute my commentator before I get onto onto the grid. But here we go. We are live for race 2 of the evening. It's an 11-lap straight sprint shootout, and Andrew Ferguson and Stephen Marsden for Rolling Moose Racing are locking out the front row here for the top 10 reverse grid. Maybe a little bit of strategy play here from the Volvo boys, because they've got themselves a nice little advantage here for a little short sprint race down to the finish line. But I tell you what, they've just left the server. Everyone's been
Server
kicked
issue.
out. Yep, server issue as usual. So we'll just
We'll chat amongst
we'll
friends.
chat amongst ourselves. We'll get the track map up again, so we can study that as we leave the server and come back in. The circuit is, as we've said before, 5.412 kilometers, 15 turns. Fastest lap in practice was Luke Newing with a 157.704. But as Zach O'Reilly just pointed me out, Pascal Hine in that last race did a 157.5 during the race with fuel on. That is absolutely unreal. That is cooking.
That's cooking with gas, for sure. When you got the old flame sitting there around the campfire and you're waiting for your billy to boil and some rich prick behind you has his 12-burner barbecue coming out of the $4 million RV, that's what it feels like when you see a 157.5 from Pascal Hine. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, disheartening is the word, I suppose. That's
Right, yeah.
that's. I tell you what, if he can keep that pace up tonight, look, he was on track for a second place. He had Matt Cotter lined up well and truly there at the end of that race. Just made a little bit of a mistake in the braking zone for turn one, should I say? But I think he had the pace, and he was putting him under all sorts of pressure there to claim that position for his own.
Yes.
But as it is, he will be starting 7th on the grid tonight for round 2, or race 2, should I say? With this being a top 10 reverse grid for the finishing positions for the last one. So as I said, we got Marsden and Ferguson off the front row. We'll wait till we load into the server again to get the rest of the grid sorted out for you guys, so we know where we're starting. It's going to be I think it's 7:30 p.m., so it might be a little bit dark in the server here. We're going to have the sun going down, headlights ablaze, and hopefully it looks pretty good on the stream to all you 50 people watching at home.
Absolutely. It's looking bloody fantastic. The server's gone down again, I think, unless I've been completely lost in translation.
I think the server it's back up. There's no one in there yet.
Unless it's doing a hissy fit here.
Unless it's gone down again since I joined. We will I guess we'll exit there.
That's all right.
That's all right. We'll go through our team standings again. Let's have a look what we've got here. Rolling Moose Racing still out on top. This is after round 1 and does not take into consideration the race that we just saw, as our admin team are working furiously behind the scenes right now to get the server up and running for race 2. We're just going to talk amongst ourselves anyway. Any things to note from the first round for the first race, Zach?
Oh, super things to note. Don't try to pit maneuver someone within the first 20 metres of the starting grid on lap 1. That'd be a good way to start, I reckon.
Yep.
But the other ones too we've seen is that strategies do work. And if you do a reverse to your competitors and sacrifice a little bit at the start, stay out of trouble, it pays dividends in the long end. And that's exactly what we saw from Nick Mello for race 1. He was our winner there by a considerable amount of margin. That's a blue whale's dick of a distance between himself and second place with 8 seconds or 9 that he did. But if anything is to go by here, Chris, with the reverse top 10, we're going to see trials and tribulations because the teammates are on the front row here, Andrew and Stephen. And when we see our other quick guys come through, then we will be hopefully not seeing any carnage, but some sort of inter-team battles if they are getting held up by the slower guys in front of them when the pit window does come around, if it is going to come around for anyone. We'll see what compound they go on.
Well, I think this is a non-mandatory pit stop. So
yes,
race. So you can choose to pit if you wish, but certainly the super softs, I don't know if they're going to last 11 laps.
I don't think they will. I really don't think they will. But honestly, it's one of those things of attrition. If you can get it to work and work well, then I think for anyone in Sundry there, it can be a race winner. So with 11 laps to go, I'm seeing what's going to happen and find out what the hell everyone's going to start on. We've got some people on softs here, and we've seen some start on supers, which are our top two guys here at the moment, unless they haven't loaded their setups. It's only time will tell to see what the hell is going to happen with everyone with those compound choices.
Yeah, it looks as if the Rolling Moose team are sticking with the super softs here for race 2. It's 11 laps. Whether they can get a big enough lead for the first maybe half of this race to try and hold on for the rest, that's something that only time is going to tell. Looking back through the field, James Claypole as well is starting on the super softs. Chris Eckert as well. No, we've got people leaving the server again. This is unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen. Real penalty is playing up again. So we will be, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little moment and from our sponsors, which are none, by the way. Actually, if anyone's watching at home and you have a company that you want to have, I guess, plugged on the stream, we can do so. We've got plenty of track space where your company can pop their logo on for just a small price, and we can advertise the shit out of you to the Australian sim racing market. Here we are at Bahrain. We've got all these lovely little signed postages around the traps. Most of them are just AK Racing branded at the moment. Some of them Simsational TV as well, which is good to see. But any of these billboards can be yours. Just send us a little message in the Discord. The link is in your bottom left-hand corner, and it's in the description of the video on YouTube. But I think once we get this sorted, or once we're getting this server issue sorted, we're just going to take a little break. We're going to go back to our loading screen, and we're going to be back very shortly, ladies and gentlemen, once we can get this service fucking shit sorted out. Gee whiz, sorry for the P's and Q's, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we all speak French at home, but we'll be back in just a couple of short minutes.
Put it to sleep, pretend you're having a laugh. I know you thought you'd had the last. I'm a fire and I burn, burn, burn tonight. I'm a fire and I burn, burn, burn tonight. I'm a fire and I burn, burn, burn tonight. I'm a fire and I burn, burn, burn tonight. The midget is frigid, I put it to you. Who's got a match? I've got the petrol to set it to. I know I shouldn't have trusted you. It's making me tense what you're telling me. A series of facts that don't compute the classic way. I guess I'm wrong again anyway. I'm a fire and I burn, burn, burn tonight. I'm a fire and I burn, burn, burn tonight. I'm a fire and I burn, burn, burn tonight. I'm a fire and I burn, burn, burn tonight. I'm a fire and I burn tonight. I'm a fire. I'm a fire and I burn tonight. I'm a fire. I'm a fire and I'll burn, burn. 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 I'm a fire. I'm a fire. I'm a fire.
You joined post-race interviews.
Always on the right line, but never enough to decide. No one seemed to notice, so
All right, we're back on, ladies and gents. Sorry about the delay here. Obviously, with sim racing comes a lot of technical difficulties that do poke their ugly little heads and arise from time to time. But we get through them, and this is no different. I'm just loading into the server now for the third time, and hopefully,
No different.
hopefully, we can get a race 2 happening.
My goodness gracious me. In the 21st century here, you'd think technology and AI and all that sort of stuff, it would just make everything seamless. But no, it does not here at AK Racing. But nonetheless, that is what you get with technology, ladies and gentlemen. And the grid has been shaken up because the server itself did its own mindfulness of decisions like AI would, and said that it was a reverse top 10. But I'll tell you what, it actually is not. So our net leader from the last race and whoever finished in the top 10 is going to start in that order wherever they finished in race 1. So it's play on. But then for the last race, it's going to be a reverse top 10. So look out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever anyone's going to have some sort of mishap, could be anyone's guess. It is motor racing, and we saw that in race 1, not even before the start line was crossed from a couple of drivers on the circuit. So they will be getting a slap on the wrist. But nonetheless, predictions for race 2 here, Chris Munro. It's pretty hard to go past Nick Mallow debating on his speed from last race, and he did a stellar job on those super softs. So where is everyone going to start and finish? Because I think a lot of them are going on softs.
Yeah, I think that might be the optimal strategy here. 11 laps is probably a little bit too long to go on the softer compound, should I say? But look, I tell you what, that's not going to stop a couple of these blokes from having a good old crack. Because once I just switch to this screen, we're going to find out who's on which tyre. And Nick Mello is starting off on the super softs. As I said, Stephen Marsden and Andrew Ferguson are both starting on the super softs, as well as James Claypole and looking back through the field, Clayton Pine and Clayton Waters as well.
Ooh.
Both the Claytons are on the super softs, as is Rolling Moose and a couple of the boys up the front, Nick Mello and James Claypole. So we expect Nick Mello on that tyre to absolutely just skip away from the start. Those tyre compounds have a real advantage off the line, so we'll just see him lead into turn 1 with pretty much the rest of the field just battling it out.
Hang on.
No, it's not happening again, is it?
No, it's not. Give us a second here,
No,
because the lights are up, Chris Munro, but Matt Cotter's gone on the super softs. You take away the first wrap there, my old dear friend.
All right, so the top 2 are on the super softs. So this will be on now for young and old. We've got all the lights on. The lights are out now, and it is a pretty great start from Nick Mello. He's going to lead comfortably now over Matt Cotter. Matt Cotter just slipping into the slipstream and might just maybe pull out. He does. He pulls out, but just thinks better of it. Pascal Hines sits into 3rd position. Thomas Wilson follows him up into 3rd with Thomas Wilson into 4th. Lockie Grant and Harley Marshall battling it out. There's a car off the track there in the background. Couldn't quite see who it is. Alex McEwen in 7th with Stephen Marsden in 7th. Claypole and Ferguson make out your top 10. There's battles. There's a car off. That's Luke Newing, is it? No,
It is.
No, it's not. Newing's just back there in 24th. Holy moly! But that's actually Nathan Hughes just making his way back out on the track. So Luke Newing in 24th. It may as well be last because it's not too far off it. But Marshall and Marsden here battling it out. Look at this gaggle of cars here. Fall into the nose. There's the Pringle Mustangs going up the inside. Makes a little bit of contact with Marshall, who pushes him out onto Marsden. And these guys are 3 abreast now into the turn 8, with Ferguson looking behind, trying to clean up some of the scraps here. Holy boy, it's all starting to heat up here in race 2.
Marsden.
Here goes Marsden under brakes. I can't see what's going on. He's made the move stick. Oh, what an absolute pass there from Marsden. That's overtaken the year so far.
That was overtaking the year, and the Mustang ended up doing a mono. I've never seen that before. The steel rod got absolutely shafted up into the mid-space there by that move from Marsden there. Completely lost all his braking markers. He'll be getting a massive slap on the wrist for that.
Yes.
That was one of the moves of the year. I've seen. I don't know how he held on to it, Chris Munro.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, up at the front here, Pascal Hine and Tommy Wilson are having the battle of the century here. That's been going on for the last lap here. And that, mind you, that's let everyone else in front gallop away. Matt Cotter and Nick Mallow have gone, see you later, because those super softs have just come on song instantly. That's 6 seconds in a lap, if you don't mind the difference there. And Tommy Wilson and Lachlan Grant all having a good battle. And then Lachlan Grant's got some sweat pouring off his brow because Alex McEwen's sitting right on his collar there too, Chris. For the opening lap, that was some sort of action for sure.
Yeah, look at this as we watch the cars just stream down here goes Wilson. Actually, here goes Wilson up the inside of Pascal Hine. Now, Alex McEwen chiming in as well. Tommy just getting it pulled up. No, maybe going a little bit deep, but just has done enough to hold on to that position for now. Alex McEwen just poking, searching up the inside, on the outside. Doesn't know quite where to go at the moment. That's Lockie Grant just picking up a bit of that slipstream as well. They're going to go too wide into turn 4. Lockie Grant just going to have to... Oh, look at him up on the inside here. He might even have a run down into turn 8. We don't know yet, but that's Stephen Marsden. Oh, Pascal Hine getting all crossed up in the background there. Just managed to give it, just get it gathered up. Here goes Marsden. Oh, almost centre punches the back of that pink ZB, but he will have the advantage. Now these two guys are going side by side through this little double apex. Marsden, sorry, God, I'm getting confused with Marshall. Marsden, not going to do the same thing he did last time. Gives him room on the outside, and Pascal Hine takes that position off him.
I'll tell you what, the biggest loser was that man who was just speaking of Pascal Hine in that battle for second and third there, because Tom Wilson went deep and so did Pascal Hine, and then Tom Wilson just yanked the anchors on when he saw Pascal try to get an overlap, and Pascal nearly rear-ended him harder than a truck into a steel wall. 200 mile an hour. So that was the big loser for him. But Marsden, Chris Munro, is on the super soft. So he is no wonder a fiery customer in that Volvo, trying to get past everyone here because of the pace difference. About 2 seconds a lap. If anything, it's about 4 seconds a lap here at the moment, if you can tell anything by those first 2 laps of this race. It's just incredible what these softs are not doing in comparison. So battle resumes here. Lockie Grant gets all sideways. So does Pascal Hine too. And that is going to be a freight train here, because not even Alex McEwen can be stopped here on the softs. He's getting up the back of Tommy Wilson there too. So this will be a very hot battle to look for within the next half of a lap, I would say. If anyone has to say anything about it, it's going to be Tommy Wilson, because he can make that Nissan turn into about the size of 4 Titanics wide at any given Sunday with the defensive skills of himself.
Yeah, it's all happening at the back of the pack here as well, with Chris Eckert just sliding up the inside of Brandon Schmell. So he's just got that done into turn 1 for 15th position. There's just tight battles everywhere you look up and down the field. Schmerly is just trying to hang on to the back of Eckert at the moment. That Volvo looking very racy. Both of them on the soft compound as well. Harley Marshall, however, is up behind Ferguson. And he's got a problem with Brandon Pierce right on his tail here. Piercy trying to force the point into turn 8. That right-hand hairpin has to pull out at the very last minute because he's got his teammate right up his ass as well. So those two Mercs looking very dangerous there behind Harley Marshall in 10th and 11th position.
Fergo's gone wide.
There goes Fergo. So he's lost a couple of positions there to Pierce, Marshall and Smith as well. Ferguson getting back on the track safely. Oh, there's a Rangiart ZB in the background there. I think that's Claypole. No, sorry, McFadden, Jason McFadden, Brian's cousin. There, he's got a bit of breathing room on either side there as well. So holy moly, where to look? Stephen Marsden is the one. He is coming up behind Pascal Hine as we speak, and Lockie Grant as well. Look at this, just battles everywhere here.
Stephen Marsden's got the, I reckon he's got a weight on that right foot of his tonight, because he is mashing the throttle, trying to get past these two guys here for 6th and 5th effectively on his department, because those super softs are now just at their peak of their prime, and they will fall off a Mount Everest style cliff very soon if he can't negate his way around Lachlan Grant and Pascal, who are both battling very hard here. Pascal must have done a setup change on his car, because those softs are just not working for him at this stage. As here comes Lockie Grant, getting caught up from last season. Move underneath. What's Stephen Marsden going to do? 3 wide, if you don't mind, into turn 1. Hine's gone wide, really deep under brakes, lost the inside. And so does Lockie Grant there too, and he did it twice in a row. Stephen Marsden still can't get the drive there either. So he's going to be fighting for absolute death here to get up the inside and get past Lachlan Grant if he can do so under braking, but he doesn't. So positions resumed there, Chris Munro. That was some space.
Yeah, positions resumed. These guys just battling their way through this race so far, absolutely nose to tail. We're going to see what sort of spice they can come up with as this race progresses. We're almost always halfway there already. It's lap 4 of 11. We're almost halfway, Zach. This has gone like faster than a bloody, I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog or something like that. But I've lost my words. I tell you what. It's tough going. But Alex McEwen now is up on the back of Thomas Wilson as well, as you can see with the pictures we're sending through here at Sensational TV. Look at these cars. We're going to watch the field stream through down out of turn 10 to that little half straight to turn 11. As you can see, there's no gap more than I guess a couple of seconds. Brandon Schmerl there out in no man's land. There's that's Cook. There's Longley. There's Turby. There's Betsy and Nathan Hughes. Betts is actually having a shocking round as well. One of the better drivers on the grid, but he's back there in 21st position. Luke Newing has made up a few positions as well. Absolute shocking round for him. He's just been battling up against it this whole time.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those rounds. One of those rounds where the old Sabco share prices will be going up. If you don't know what that is, they're the bucket manufacturers around there, because they'll be full of spew coming out of Newing's mouth after this round for sure. With all that sort of jazz going on, but the battle for the lead, ladies and gentlemen, is about to switch, because Matt Cotter is up the inside and trying to get around Nick Mallow for position 1 and bragging rights here. ZB versus VF, and Cotter's got it done. So that is move. Thank you very much, says Matthew Cotter. The battle of the super soft runners up here at the front is now on. And what's going to happen is Cotter been held up enough by Nick Mallow to just release the shackles and take away up into the sunset, quite literally here at race 2 here at Bahrain. It's looking very pretty out there for sure. But we'll see what the hell goes on with everyone else behind, because once that battle is sort of teetering out, it's not over. When you think it's all over, it's not. These two are absolutely getting sucked by the thing. And there's a bump drop there by Nick Mallow down the straight to just remind Matt Cotter that he's still there. Haven't got the job done yet, the old champ. That is going to be a cracking sort of battle when we see for the next 3 laps what will entice, if I can speak properly, these two guys to actually get some sort of move and jiggle on down the sunset. With 13 seconds to go, they've got plenty of time if someone comes a proper crisp. But that is close racing and excellent stuff by the two quick guys here tonight at Bahrain.
I'll tell you what, they've made the right decision, I think, going the super softs off the start, because that's almost a 14-second gap now to Alex McEwen there in third on the soft compound, and only 6 more laps to go in this race. So we're just about halfway. Well, we're going to say halfway distance now, and they really need to. I guess those tyres are going to fall off eventually, and we might just see some tippy-toeing from these top two. But is 13 seconds, is 14 seconds enough? I think it might be. I reckon it's going to just come down to the absolute wire as we see the the soft compound now starting to come up to temp and pressure. That number will start to come down for these guys running the softs, and the guys on the supers are going to start to slow down. That last lap for Nick Mello was a 2-minute 0.6 compared to Alex McEwen, his teammate, a 2-minute 0.4. So the soft compound is now the faster of the two tyres on track currently. Tommy Wilson making it pretty difficult for Alex McEwen as we speak. He's giving him a lot to think about there with that Nissan behind him, as we were just right on board with Wilson to just see how he's going to try and pick his way through here. Alex McEwen leaving him room. Yeah, he's got Hine there as well. Hine's on the outside, actually. He's trying to look up the inside here of Thomas Wilson down into turn 9 and 10. Oh, it's not going to happen this time, but if he can just line himself up and get a good exit out of there might be something to be said into turn 11, Zachariah.
What a freight train here from 4th to 6th and 3rd to 6th, really. That is incredible stuff, and no one's giving each other an inch for sure. It's just hammer and tong, full blown. The only one in there on a super soft compound is Stephen Marsden, as we said. So there still is some pace and life left in Stephen Marsden's tyres by the look of it here, because he's doing 2-minute flat. Everyone's doing 2-minute 0.4. So couple of tenths here and there for Marsden. It's still useful having that going on for sure. Wiggling round is Pascal Hine. That is just some dancy stuff. He's definitely got Matthew Cotter set up on there, but driving to the conditions for sure with that. And then Nissan in the lonely Nissan out on the grid, Chris Munro, your favourite, is running around in fourth position, trying to get past the ultimate and ever fiery VF Commodore. Still the best looking supercar ever made, I would say, in real life. Stephen Marsden's come into the pits, ladies and gentlemen. So that is game over for him. That is an interesting strategy. I don't think anyone's going to be pitting. I think he'll probably be one of the only ones.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that we'd see a pit stop at all in this race, considering it's a non-mandatory. But there goes his teammate as well. So Rolling Moose have maybe missed the memo here for the no mandatory pit stop, because they are coming out for another set of supers, I would assume, for the last 4 laps. But that's going to put them well behind the 8 ball here, compared to everyone else, who I'm pretty sure are just going to go to the end of whatever tyres they started with.
Yep, they're on the supers. You called it right, Chris. And as Stephen Marsden comes out into the first corner and negates that successfully with Adam Betts right behind him, who will be thinking, I've got some good line here, and he does at the moment, but those soft tyres are still not as quick as a brand new fresh set of supers. And Nick Mellow's got past Cotter. That is race for lead done again. So it's not over, ladies and gentlemen, between those two. They are hammer and tong here. They're not going to let go, because there's 4 laps to go. No one's pitting here other than Matt Cotter nearly rear ends Nick Malloy, just for some insurance there for sure. What is going to happen with these two? And what happened to Matt Cotter? I missed it, unless we caught on the stream. I can't see it on my screen. That was about 0.6 of a second, and must have come a proper there, Matt Cotter. And Nick Malloy said, "Thank you, mother, for the rabbits. I'm taking position 1. I'll back off your son."
That's right. Well, we see we're at that point in the race now where the super soft runners are going to have to start being very careful on their tyres, because just well, I guess you lean on them a bit too much. And
oh, no.
Oh, see, as we speak, these guys are getting very dicey and very icy and very slidey on these old super softs. They've still got 4 more laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, but they certainly have look at that, a 16-second advantage to Alex McEwen in third. I don't think there's enough laps in this race for that gap to come down. So super softs were the option for this race, obviously, but it comes down to driver skill now and car control, and who can keep these just heavy, powerful beasts with no TC, no ABS. Can you keep them on the street? That's all it comes down to. It's a battle of attrition here for the top 2 drivers as Cotter gets a massive slide out of turn 4. It's good to see. You love to see it.
Love seeing that stuff. Also, what we do love to see is sliding under brakes and nearly getting the job done. Pascal Hines doing his best impression of DK at the moment, and he nearly got underneath Tom Wilson there at turn 1 too. Very, very clean as well. Didn't make any contact, so play on there too between those guys. That's the second closest battle on the track here, apart from our lead at this point in time. So those two are definitely having a good sesh on the softs for sure. But look at this. It's just all happening. You can't choose between first and second or fourth and fifth. Well, mind you, to have a look back down the grid, Schmerley is going to get hounded any second by now, I would say. Not every second. He'll be on the back of Chris Pine if he has anything to say about it. Chris Pine is on the old super softs, and there is Schmerley on the softs. So he will have some good pace in the latter stages of this race. So maybe a 12th place for Mr. Schmerl to finish off this race 2 would be a success for him, for sure, in that department on the AC karting. Pascal Hyde and Tommy Wilson are still going at it. No one's letting go of each other. It's 3/10, but that's enough to invite some sort of move under braking. If you get a bit of suck down this back straight as they approach, and then onto the main front straight. Will that happen? Will it not? We will find out soon. No, it won't, because Pascal Hines just yeeted himself into the grass and the sand. Sorry, no grass around here. It's desert. And that is gone. I would say Tommy Wilson is now secured 4th position for the time being, and he will be on the prowl for Alex McEwen, who is sitting there doing 2-minute 6s. Tommy Wilson's doing 2-minute 5s on his last, and that was a bit of battling, so that hampered him. But pace-wise, Chris, they are basically on par with each other.
Yep, absolutely. And with only 2 laps to go, we could say that's pretty much it for those guys, barring any sort of disaster. But that can happen. But these guys are the best racers in the country here in Assetto Corsa V8 Supercars. So you don't expect any sort of mistakes here from these guys anyway. At least no sort of disastrous mistakes in saying that. But Brandon Schmerl and Pine, no, sorry, it's Pine and Marsden and Schmerly both getting past Clayton Pine there on the front straight. And that is now a nice little three-way battle because Piney's just got these two in his sights. He might just want to return serve. He's got a pretty good exit out of turn 3 up into 4, but maybe just doesn't have the pace. Those super softs of Clayton Pines are absolutely screaming at him at the moment. And as you can see visually, you can see those two Volvos in front just pulling away as we speak. Brandon Schmerl, the only Pro Sim Centre car on the grid at the moment. We're missing Scotty Garrick. We're missing Guy Duff. We're missing, who's the other one in that AC karting team? I can't think, the name has escaped me. But just flying the flag for Pro Sim Centre on his own tonight, Brandon Schmerl, and doing a pretty good job of it at the moment. He was doing much better before, but Marsden has come through on his super softs, which are starting to get pretty old, I'd say.
Yeah, they're just on the brink of destruction, I would say.
Actually, no, he's coming for a pit. That's right.
Marsden. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Pine. I didn't hear you.
Sorry,
I'm in a different tangent. My
My
fault.
go.
Yeah. No, Marsden's enjoying life at the moment. Even though he's in 12th, he'll be trying to set qualifying lap records here for himself with a bit of fuel on board on those fresh super softs. Because he and his teammate Andrew Ferguson did the only pit stop of the race that we've seen from any competitor. Bit of a strategy error, I would say, or a misread of the race format. Not sure what happened there, but nonetheless, play on. And speaking of non-play-ons, Chris, the lead has come back. It was a second and a half, and now it's only 6/10 with a lap and a bit to go. I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah, Cotter is the kind of guy who sort of just gets better as the races go on. And look at that. That gap is now down under 5/10, and certainly filling up Nick Mello's mirrors now with a whole lot of something to think about with 1 lap or 2 laps or 1.5 laps to go here at Bahrain. In race 2, Nick Mello's thinking, oh, geez, I could go 2 from 2 here. But he's got Matt Cotter behind him, and he is the series champion from Season 10. That is the last season that we did last year. So certainly not the guy you want to have sitting in your mirrors with 1 lap to go, I'd say.
No, not at all. It's a scary-looking ZB when it's behind you at the best of times. It's sort of half invisible too. You really don't notice it if you focus forward because it sort of blends into the circuit a little bit in the rearview mirror, and then by the time you see him, you're going, oh shit, it's too late here. And he's up beside you sideways.
He's up the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Under brake sideways, if you don't mind. So this will be the battle for the last lap approaching for these two gents. It could be interesting for sure with these two having a good battle. The whole race, mind you, and the only ones on super softs for the whole race. It's just been a cracking piece of big brain moment if we ever see some from our two leading drivers here at AK Racing so far and in the past as well in Matt Cotter.
Yep, absolutely. We're looking down the field if there's any other gaps. There is Adam Betts, but that just across to him. He's almost binned it, but he's just managed to gather it up and find his way behind Schmerly here on the final lap. Just keeping one eye on that gap there between the leaders, and it's about half a second. So there's nothing to get too excited about just yet, because Nick Mello's looking for 2 from 2 tonight. But Adam Betts has come right up behind Schmerly here in the Volvo, and he's probably just getting a good bit of suck at the moment. We're going to ride on board as he makes his way down into turn 1, pulls out of the slipstream, gets onto the brakes late, and that will be the position done, I think. Can't even see Schmerly. He's giving him so much room. He's actually giving him a little bit of a bump on the way through. But that's Adam Betts up into 13th position. Ladies and gents, we are on the last lap. James Claypole is lining up as well. Poor old Schmerly's going backwards at this point. Claypole on the old supers and still making ground as well. Keep an eye on that gap. Look at the gap between Cotter and McEwen now. That gap has not gone down since halfway through this race. It was 15 seconds then, and it is 15 seconds now.
Yeah, very good call, Chris. It hasn't been any differentiation in time. We thought there was going to be a big drop-off, but it hasn't. and it's just been one of those strategy calls that has worked brilliantly for Nick Mallow as he finally comes around the last turn on the circuit. Oh no, geez, I'm way off, am I? Well, no, I think I'm right there. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. He's going to come across. How are we going tonight? He's going to come across and take it 2 from 2, if you don't mind, so far, and that is a win for Nick Mallow. Brilliantly done. Again, hats off to you. That is some sensational driving, or sensational driving, if you don't mind.
Yes.
By Nick Mallow there, Chris Munro. Tommy Wilson will be he'll be a distant third coming through, but not too quickly. That is a photo finish, if you don't mind. Tommy Wilson comes through and pips him by an absolute bee's dick and a half for third position. Alex McEwen, 0.058 of a second there for fourth position. Pascal Hine only 9 tenths behind them. And then we see Harley Marshall and Brandon Pierce for 6th and 7th. Lockie Grant crosses the line in 8th. Lawrence Smith-Shags with a recovery drive after being right-hand down for the last race, if you don't mind, comes in 9th. Luke Newing, recovery driver of the year.
How good was that?
24th to 10th, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen. That is a pearl of Chris Munro.
Yeah, and Stephen Marsden chiming in for 11th after an unnecessary pit stop. He will rue that decision, I assume, because he's just missed out on pole position for the next race. Brian's cousin there down in 12th position with Ferguson from Rolling Moose Racing. Tell you what, Rolling Moose are struggling tonight, ladies and gents. They might be kicked off the top place on the podium there with... that's not Scott McLaughlin, that is Clayton Pine, but I mustn't have his livery sorted in the server. We'll get that done for next week. Adam Betts in 15th. Chris Eckert has left the server. Brandon Schmerl in 17th position. James Claypole 18th. The Chef down in 19th. Ollie Longley for Squirrel Racing Team, the 222. And I found a little thing on he's powered by nuts. There we go on his livery there.
And the number plate, nut, as well.
Yeah, very good. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, nut, very nice. Jesse Marshall down in 21st. We've got Shivant Sulal in the chat saying up to Jesse Marshall. So hats off to you, the Jesse Marshall, I guess the fan base there in the chat. Something to look at as well. Brad Turby in 22nd. Clayton Waters in 23rd. And Jimmy Parks joined the server and has really made a mark there in 24th position. We'll go
Guess
back. What?
I'll tell you who is out of fuel.
Mello.
Mello.
Yeah, he's getting a...
He's getting a good old-fashioned push, ladies and gentlemen, from his teammate Alex McEwen, and that is classic. We're waiting for him to come to the podium. I wonder if they'll get there in time before the podium comes around.
Yeah.
I reckon we're going to have to look at the invisible Nick Mallow there on the podium.
Yeah.
For race 2. Chris, take it away. Who have we got there?
There we got Matt Cotter. We've got Tommy Wilson. Hang on, let's get a better view of this.
Where's the chopper cam?
There we go. No, the chopper's out of action. I don't know what's happened to it. Something happened to my my computer. Yeah, the pilot's just crashed himself out, well and truly. But that's all the time we've got. We're going to have to fix that up in the server. Gives us a little bit more time to get back to the podium positions. But poor old Nick Mallow running out of fuel on his in-lap. But that's racing, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Mallow taking out second race of the evening and the 2 from 2 as well. Who's going to stop him tonight? Matt Cotter was giving him a good old battle, but just couldn't keep up in the end. Tommy Wilson rounding out our podium, and I think he is still in the championship position number 1. Alex McEwen there in 4th. Pascal Hine rounding out your top 5 this evening.
Yeah, what a drive there from Thomas Wilson, the pip Alex McEwen on the line with an official B-stick. So Harley Marshall in 6th, Brandon Pierce in 7th, Lachlan Grant in an 8th place. That's very good driving from all of those competitors there, those 3 I just mentioned. They'll be stoked with those results. So will Shaggy Smith. And Spewy Newing, he'll be stoked. He'll be finding himself on pole, if you don't mind, for the last race. So that is a good place for him to maybe make some sort of amends for a half horrible evening so far. Top 10 in the second race is a good consolidating position after the first event that he went through. That was a shocker. Stephen Marsden in 11th, Jason McFadden 12th, Andrew Ferguson 13th, Clayton Pine 14th, Betts, Eckert, Schmerl, Claypole, Cook, Longley, round out your top 20 for race 2.
Absolutely. And we are gearing up for the final race of the evening. It's a 14-lapper, and I think we have a mandatory pit stop. So maybe the Rolling Moose boys will come into their own into the in the third race tonight. They'd be spewing about that in the team chat. Well, actually, we might get a word with them after the round and see what their thinking was when it came to team decisions to pull in both of those team cars for a pit in a non-mandatory pit race.
Wow.
I don't know if they meant to or if they might have misread the terms and conditions on race 2.
T's and C's apply, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
But nonetheless, the server is down, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be reloading soon, so hold on to your hats, turn the aircon on or turn the heater on if it's hot or cold wherever you are, and go get those cuppers refilled because race 3 is coming up, and we'll be back here at Sensational Racing in just a few moments.
Is that what you put forward your best? The only difference we have is on right, so better sit in silence. So proud of what you're famous for, hospitality and violence.
Drunk and disorderly. That's how we like to keep it here at Sensational TV on a Sunday night. It's all starting to happen. We've got race 3 up and about after a bit of more server issues. It's tell you what, if anyone's out there is a budding app maker for Assetto Corsa, can someone make a better alternative to real penalty?
It's one of those things with technology, as I said earlier. We just can't pick it here, ladies and gentlemen. But that's no stress. That's what we're here for. And that's why we love sim racing, because it throws everything at you off and on the track, if you don't mind. When it comes to racing, you just never know what's going to happen. But keep in mind, speaking of what's going to happen, Chris Munro, a top 10 reverse grid, if I can speak properly. And Luke Newing finds himself on the front row with one of his compatriots, I would say. They are friends off track, is Lawrence Smith. And that's going to be a sight to behold. About time we see a Mercedes-Benz back on the front row of the grid after myself and yourself dominated at some point in stage in OK Racing in the past history. But nonetheless, don't look back, they say. Always look forward. So disregard whatever I just said. Lachlan Grant's going to find himself on the second row. Next to him is Brandon Pearce in another Mercedes-Benz, if you don't mind. That's going to be some hot property for sure. Harley Marshall in off the third with Pascal Hine, our German compatriot. He has a ping of 300, ladies and gentlemen, but you wouldn't know it. He's driving sensationally tonight and does everything. So it's good to see Alex McEwen behind him or next to him, if you don't mind. Somewhere along the lines in the VF Commodore, Tommy Wilson in the Nissan, Matt Cotter in the ZB, and Nick Mello, our race winner from the last race that we just witnessed, in 10th position.
No excuses for Luke Newing now. He's found himself on the front row of the grid. He's got 14 laps to just put the disasters of the first 2 races behind him. And and as you said before, we look forward, not behind. He's got nothing to look for. I shouldn't say that. He's got everything to look forward to. He's got no other cars to look at in front of him as we speak. He's just got clear track down into turn 1. So after being the fastest man in practice all week, now is the time for him to stretch his legs and just show this field what he can do with a little bit of clear track in front of him. All he's got to do is just keep it on the track, I'd say, from here. But he's got Lawrence Smith on his inside. He's got Lockie Grant behind him. We've got the lights up on the track. We've got about 8 seconds till we get into the action for the final time tonight and the final time at Bahrain for this round. We are going to get a better little view, and we are off and racing. There goes Luke Newing off on the Super Softs. Everybody's starting on the Super Softs, but I'll tell you what, that Mercedes has got a very nice start, and he's going to head him off actually into turn 1. Lockie Grant's going to try and look to clean up some of the crumbs as well. Oh, there's contact. There goes Luke. Oh, my goodness. It's all trying. The field is bunching up as well. I need a better view here. Oh, look at this. I'm just going to watch them go through here. It's hard to commentate. There goes Matt Cotter trying to make positions up off the track as well. He's going around any way he can. He's going to look up the inside of Pearce at the moment. It's not going to work. Smith holding on to third position. Luke Newing in the front with Pascal Hine making up a mountain of positions off the start. There goes Lockie Grant. No, that's Marshall. No, it's Lockie Grant. He's out. Marston's out. McFadden's out. Marshall, Marston, Grant. All of them having an absolute shocker there into turn 5. Oh, it's all disaster here for all the boys here, Zach O'Reilly.
I was on board with Stephen Marston just watching what was going on there on the second screen, Chris, and it was all him. He started that domino effect. He got a tank slapper on him right around turn 3 or 4, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And that just pirouetted him into poor old friggin' Harley Marshall, and that just ended in disaster for everyone in Sundry. Chris Munro, what a disaster for those guys. And another lap 1 incident, it just doesn't stop here at the moment. Incredible.
Yeah, the guys are fighting for every piece of track position. There's a bit of a change in the lead here at the moment with Pascal Hine on the outside of Luke Ewing around turn 12, I believe, into 13. Luke Ewing pushing him right off the track. These two are banging door handles. Come on, look at this. A bit more contact down into the final turn. Can you have any more action here, ladies and gentlemen, for a Sunday night? You can't. The flames spitting out. Oh, he's just cut him off. Turned across the nose there, Pascal Hine. Did not see Luke Ewing on the inside, but I think that's play on. That's racing incident done. But that is Lawrence Smith up into the lead with all the shenanigans going on. And look at Matt Cotter. He's coming up the inside as well. Banging door. Oh, that is absolutely disastrous for Luke Ewing. He's spinning around like a dreidel there on the main straight. Oh, there it goes. The chances have just fallen through. Oh, poor bastard.
We have no words in the commentary box here, Chris Monroe. That is just, if there isn't any insult to injury, there is a good point in that in Luke Ewing's bloody night. What an absolute, I wish I could say the word, but what a prick of a night for him at this point in time. Had all the things pointing his way and just, nothing. And look at his steering.
Yeah,
he is right hand down, 95,000 degrees, 180 actually. That is disaster for him. So I would say that's race over and all done and sorted.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Holy moly, he's had some bad luck this year, and pretty much all the time we see him, he's so fast in over a one lap pace situation. But then when it comes to the races, the consistency and tendency to get into trouble. Really hurts poor old Luke Ewing. I guess just the more experience he gets, he might just be able to avoid some of these things. But just banging door handles with Matt Cotter down the main straight, he looked like he tried to return serve a little bit and give him a bit of curry rub himself, but it just turned out to be in the wrong spot. As we see Alex McEwen and Brandon Pierce now engaged in a little battle here for the top five. Looking up and down, Matt Cotter has taken the lead off Lawrence Smith in the meantime, but I think we covered that earlier. So that's who's going to come and catch bloody Cotter now. Nick Mello's down there in third with like a 1.9 second advantage or disadvantage to Cotter as we speak. But gee whiz, there was a lot to take in over that first lap.
Yeah, for sure. But full credit here at the moment though to Shags. He's not letting go of Matthew Cotter here at any given Sunday. He's done a fantastic job. Usually you'd see him gallop off into the distance, but Shags is holding on, and he's got 0.6 of a second between him. Between himself and Nick Mello. So play on, Shaggy Smith. Do the Mercedes-Benz is proud here at the moment for the final race of the evening. It's great to see. So, and guess what's happened to Luke Ewing's just come into the pits. And then he's also got a drive-through. Just add more insult to injury.
Yeah.
For all of that sort of jazz, he's just got another one. So I think that'll be his day done and dusted, and he'll stop from there.
I think that'll be the end of him. Just to add insult.
Oh, no, Claypole, Ferguson, Betts, all entangled in everyone. I just flicked the other stream, and there is Ferguson facing the wrong way. Oh no, that is disaster. This team has had an absolute shocker of an evening, and now they're still going at it.
Yeah.
Fergo just says, I'm going straight through you all. By G, by Jigger, by crikey. In the fair dinkum department here, Chris Monroe, that is just a absolute, I don't even know. I got no words. Just disaster.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch what happened on the stream. We just saw the aftermath, and it was just cars getting back onto the track in the way of cars that were coming up behind. So now what we have is about a 6-car little battle pack here, headed by Ferguson, with Claypole, Eckert, Grant, Hine, Marshall, and Cook all in tow. Actually, Turby's joined that party as well. We're going to ride on board with Turby to see. Look at the cars in front. Look at that. Holy moly. They're 2x2 heading down, so I'm going to have to get a better view of this. Ferguson is in front with, actually, Claypole has headed him at the moment, and that is the 411 of Chris Eckert there up behind. Pascal Hine just has come a gutser somewhere along the way. He's back there as well. Harley Marshall and Jesse Marshall as well. Sorry, not Harley, it's Jesse back there.
Yeah, Pascal Hine jumps the start, Chris, and had to serve a drive-through penalty on lap 1. He's done that, and he's not taking any prisoners here. He's gone straight down the inside of Lachlan Grant. That is a cracker move. That was fantastic under brakes.
Beautiful.
Well done. And he's also got Ferguson, if you don't mind. Fergo's ran wide and giving up 2 positions in the corner. So Pascal Hine's found himself back in the top 10. The German warrior himself, he'll be on a charge somewhat to get himself up to the top 5, I would say. To recover whatever happened there with him jumping the start, maybe a clutch dump or a neutral bang by mistake before the lights went out.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us, but usually it only happens once. And once it does happen, you never make that mistake again because it can be so heartbreaking to see that drive-through penalty message come up on your screen.
Flashing.
Yep.
The only flash you don't want.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless you're at the we're not going into that. Brad Turby looking on the outside of Jesse Marshall now down into turn. I guess that's turn 10. Little battle pack here starting to form. We've got who's that? Lockie Grant, Ferguson, Chris Eckert, Jesse Marshall, Turby. Who's behind him? That's Cook and Waters as well with Schmerley. Everyone's chiming in. This midfield pack is absolutely action-packed at the moment. And that Squirrel Racing team, Brad Turby livery, looks very nice now as the headlights are ablazed around the circuit. Very nice to see. But for some reason, it's not nighttime on my end, but it's all right. We've got Jesse Marshall now looking up behind Harley Marshall. The brothers are MBR, and they are locked in a little battle here. The Marshall fan club will be pretty happy to see this, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see. At home, there'll be some... I wonder who's the favourite son out of both of them. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's a good question. I did see Stephen Marshall in the chat. That might be the dad, maybe.
Maybe. We're going to have to ask, and I think whoever comes up on top, we're going to have their nickname's going to be the favourite son.
Yep.
Out of the 2 of them for sure. So we'll have that. And I found another one for Claypole. I'm going to call him the Steel Rod. See if that works some way, shape or form. Future tense, we'll see what goes on there. But nonetheless, the racing goes on, Chris Munro. And Pascal Hine is making his way up. He is now in 7th. So he was in 10th, and now he's in 7th within a lap and a half. So he's making inroads, but he's got a bloody big gap between himself and the next man in front of him, Adam Betts. So consolidation there at some point for him. Whether the pit stops come into it, they're all on super softs, so they're going to have to come in and change to a soft because there is a mandatory compound change on this race. We'll see what happens there if anyone stuffs it up. But yeah, in the meantime, we've seen Nick Mallow got past Lawrence Smith there, and now Alex McEwen is hunting down Lawrence Smith. So Lawrence Smith's got a bit of a gaggle of quick drivers behind him, and he nearly loses it himself.
Yeah,
if you don't mind. Yeah, bloody hell. I just twitched me mind there and saw it. He's nearly done it again. So that Merc is doing its best impression, as I say, of Swan Lake on the ice and sliding and skating wherever it wants to go. And Alex McEwen's got the job done there. Find himself back in the podium positions for the final race of this evening. If anything, Lawrence has to say something about it. He does. He's got the better run there, but I reckon there'll be some downforce drafting here. Who's going to blink first as we come into turn 1? Who bloody knows?
Not me, that's for sure. I'm not betting on anything anymore because look at this. Lawrence Smith's going to argue the point up the inside. McEwen give him a nice wide berth. Oh, close to a bit of contact, but these two just navigate themselves around very respectively. And there goes Alex McEwen up into the podium positions here to start his comeback, his recovery drive in the championship. The man who is on top is just a couple of cars behind in Thomas Wilson. So we're hopefully just trying to keep those positions as they are and make up some points in that championship on the way out. But Andrew Ferguson now has lined up behind Lockie Grant, and he's going to try and make a bit of a battle out of this, I'd imagine. Yeah,
he's never shy away from a battle, does Fergo. The big man he is, he'll be frothing this. If he's got a pace advantage, there will be no imagining position will change. He'll be making it a reality at some point in this race if he can get up the back of Lachlan Grant in that very good looking 9G. I say that every round. It is a good looking ZB Commodore. I love that livery. Slipping and sliding his way around there for sure. It's good to see these guys having a good crack And we just saw before, I think it was someone came into pits relatively early just before. No, I can't remember who it was. But it was already a positional change and people coming in at 6 laps from those super softs, Chris. So we're going to keep an eye out on that to see what all happens future tense in this race.
Yeah, I think we've got Pierce has come in, Claypole, Pine, and McFadden. Your first stoppers of this race, so they've jumped onto the softs relatively early. I think maybe a couple of laps ago they only did maybe 4 or 5 laps on the supers before they jumped onto the softs. So we'll see how Pierce is travelling. His last lap was a 2-minute 30, so that was an out lap, I believe. So we'll just see how he fares in the pace department as it all happens. Jesse Marshall has looped it, and he's trying to get back onto he's trying to get back onto the track safely. He's done it quite nicely. Adam Betts and Lawrence Smith now into the pits. Pascal Hines setting the fastest lap of the race at 59.4 so far. These guys are absolutely flying up in front. It was Matt Cotter last time around, a 159.5, a 158.9 from Nick Mello. So he's making inroads on Matt Cotter on the lead, and he is looking for a clean sweep tonight in the racing department. Tell you what, where's the next closest battle? It's got to be down here somewhere. It's going to be, I guess, Chris Eckert looking at Ferguson, but he's got about 9/10 to make up.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, though. We're talking about battles. Lawrence Smith is having a battle of mental energy. He's got a drive-through for speeding.
Oh, no.
In the pits. Yep. So he came in and he stopped. You should have seen him. He was perpendicular nearly to his pit box, but managed to get it stopped in that box somehow, but also copped the drive-through for speeding. So his night is done in any stretch of the imagination department. But technically, he could go back onto the super softs if he wants to. With 3 laps to serve that drive-through penalty, that will put him in lap 10. So he could have some fun on those super softs if he wants to at some stage. But who knows? It doesn't really matter.
Go for fastest
job
lap
done,
of the
as you
race.
say, Chris Munro.
Yeah, that's right. The damage is done already. Once you break the rules here in these cutthroat leagues where there's just absolutely nothing between a lot of these drivers, any little mistakes like that are just going to hurt you so much. And I guess a lot of these mistakes are a learning curve. You do them once, and then you try your best not to do them again. Like we saw Pascal Hines serving his drive-through earlier for a jump start. I don't think Shaggy will be speeding into the pits anytime soon.
No, he won't be. He won't be doing Scooby-Doo and running off into the distance when he sees any sort of tomfoolery or scary creature on the cartoons as we see. I'm just talking absolute shit. But nonetheless, we do that. That's what we do here at Sensational TV. Brad Schmerl is just coming into the pits now, and Andrew Ferguson is in the pits, and so is Lachlan Grant, and so is Chris Eckert. So fair bit of pit stuff going on at the moment with everyone peeling off after 8 laps on those super softs, saying, no, I'm having enough with that shit. I'm out. And Lawrence Smith is now coming through to serve his drive-through. So, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Speaking of that too, Brandon Pierce is now at the back of Adam Betts. Only 3/10 between him and Betts. So who's going to get the cookies, so to speak? Is it going to be Adam Betts keeping him, or is Brandon Pierce going to be taking them off him, the whole packet, or maybe even a slab? Depends on how much Adam Betts has got in his stockpile there at home of the Oreos. But we'll find out very soon. It's a cracking little battle, this. They're all sort of taking different lines, running later, under braking earlier, getting an apex switchback. Who knows? But it is a good battle nonetheless here as we see them coming into turn 8. I'm pretty sure that is. And, a little bit of a side action there, sideways for Adam Betts. This will give a bit of an invitation here for Brandon Pierce to go up the inside, but he thinks wiser of it until now, because there he goes, beautifully done. He's going to squeeze Betts wide as you're allowed to squeeze him, and that's going to be a drag race, but there is some overlap here for Brandon Pierce. So Pierce is going to get down the inside here, I would say, and take the biscuits off Adam Betts into this turn. Yes, he does. Beautifully done. Don't overbreak yourself. He's locked the inside and he's ran wide. He's just overcooked it. Oh, no, that is disaster for Pierce. So he'll be looking to make some consolidating points here for sure. in that very good-looking Mercedes-Benz, if you don't mind. But by Jingo's, that is a costly mistake because he's already lost a second between himself and Betts in a corner.
Yeah, good patience there from Betts as well. Just knew that Pierce would probably outbrake himself there, and consolidated, found that apex, and the good old, what do you call it? The up and under. Thank you very much. I'll take the Oreos and I'll take them with a glass of milk. Thank you very much. As we've seen in the meantime, Nick Mello, Cotter, all coming into the pits. McEwen, Hayden Cook as well. All pitting now for their supers, for their softs. The only two that haven't pit now is Thomas Wilson and Pascal Hine. Thomas Wilson, mind you, has a 12-second advantage over Pascal Hine at the moment. He's going for the long run. Is Wilson. He's still doing, what's his last lap? Was a 2-minute 0.7. His main competitor is Nick Mello, and his last lap was a 2:01.4. So Wilson doing the right thing here by the overlap, because Mello's got his hands full here with Cotter going up the inside of turn 8. He's going to get that job done, but before turn 9, can Mello just, I guess, reply with something of his own, a bit of magic? He's going to try and get a bit of a late apex and get the suck down this little straight. But look at the pace. Look at the drive there from Cotter. That torpedo machine has just fucked off down the straight there. Thank you very much.
That is effectively for the lead too, if you don't mind, for these two gentlemen. So he's going to find out what's going to be the pace differential at the end of this tyre stint on the softs. They've got plenty of time to do it anyway. Those softs will just probably get warm by the time we're at the last lap here at Bahrain, mind you. But saying that, it's a bit of a gap there for Tommy Wilson. He's got 12 seconds on Pascal Hine, and he's in the pits now. He's Tom Wilson. So where will this put him out in front? Will it be enough? I don't think it will be. It's a bloody long pit stop here at Bahrain. There will be Cotter round in the last turn now, so he will skip past, and so will Nick Mello, skip past Tommy Wilson in the pits, who's now moving. Pascal Hine just come in to stop, so it will be third and fourth for Tom Wilson and Pascal Hine effectively in this race. Jeez Louise, it's all happening, and Matt Cotter's just galloped off a bit down there into the distance.
Yeah, he's got about an 8/10, 9/10 advantage now over Nick Mello, so the card coming to Cotter the longer this race goes, and maybe just crushing the dreams that Mello had of a 3-race victory here tonight. Thomas Wilson getting back moving as well, but he's got a 7.5 second disadvantage to the top guys there at the moment. Adam Betts with a pretty good running so far. He's there in 4th position. We haven't seen him up there in the top 5 all night, but here he is, and he's being chased down by Brandon Pierce at the moment, who is only 7/10 behind.
Yeah, you're dead right, and you're absolutely spot on. It's just one of those little things where you miss some battles, and then you see some others, and then we see the gaps just go up and out, and before we've caught them, they're done. But that's some racing. But as I said, Chris Munro, it's not over till the fat lady sings and the checkered flag is waved. So anything can happen, because with the gap that we've seen here between our front drivers in Matt Cotter and Nick Mello, it sort of seems like they have a rubber band effect. They get to a stretching point, and then they just pull each other back together. It's amazing. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but they must just do the old tyre life saver per lap, and then just decide one lap and going hard, the other one will cool them off and get those temps down, because they are very temperature sensitive here at AK Racing.
Yeah, well, and it comes down to driving styles as well. You can be, I guess, the smoother you are on the wheel means you're scrubbing the front tyres less. You're finding that optimal steering angle without going over and scrubbing those fronts, which will obviously wear the tyres more than what you would otherwise. And also your right foot, the throttle control. Getting on the power without lighting up the rears goes a long way to keeping a bit of tyre life left in those tyres at the end of the race. So a credit to those guys who are nice and gentle on their tyres, because it goes a long way in AK Racing with this new Dunlop tyre model, where they do tend to wear quite quickly.
Yeah, it's spot on. And when it comes to that point too, the cliff is huge. So they've all know about it here at AK Racing. They all know what's going to happen. So it's a bit of time management, if that's the proper term to use. Bit of a battle going on here too between Alex McEwen and Harley Marshall. They're not giving each other any room. And Lachlan Grant sitting behind him, looking up in front of him and licking his chops, because if something happens between those two, they will be taking some positions for sure. But that's a good battle there. Timing Tower's just done an absolute nightmare. And Lachlan, Shaggy Smith is stationary, Chris Munro.
Oh,
He's
he's
stationary
almost
at
turned
turn
him.
one.
Marshall and McEwen coming together there. McEwen just gathering it up somehow. He was about 45 degrees sideways and having all sorts of conniptions there. Another little tap there from Marshall on the way through. Harley giving him something to think about. Alex is going, Jesus Christ.
Safety car.
Oh, there's a safety car on track, ladies and gents. With 3 laps to go, this could be anything.
It's all going to happen here. As
Oh.
your resident safety car driver is in the commentary box.
All right.
So we'll see what happens here. You can keep commentating, Chris. I'm going to have to listen in to race director.
Yeah, it's your time to shine, so we're going to just pop the camera on you, and you'll have to pull up. Where is our leader? He is coming around onto the main straight. Okay, so you're going to have the leaders on you very soon. Nick
Very
Mello,
good.
Matt Cotter. This is going to be a 1-lap sprint. It's already lap 12, mind you. We can't be in this safety car period to the end, as this gives me flashbacks of Abu Dhabi when I'm just going to say it. Lewis Hamilton was absolutely ripped off for an 8th World Championship. No, we're not going to do that here at AK Racing. It's not about the money here. It's about the pride and it's about the racing. We have got 2 laps to go as we speak, and we're gonna have to slow this safety car down to get everyone back into the line. There's not going to be time to unlap themselves. We might even end up finishing this race under safety car conditions. This will be a first here at AK Racing. Holy moly! How's the Mustang feel out there, Zach O'Reilly?
It was a bit twitchy.
It does. It looks a bit. How are you going?
Yeah,
But,
I've got the gamepad going on here.
No way, you're driving that on a gamepad. All right, we got the. It's a lovely looking safety car, by the way. We got the Sensational TV banners, I guess. The signage across the safety car. We can see Matt Cotter in the background there with Nick Mello and Thomas Wilson. Who has the better tyres? That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to a 1-lap sprint here as well. There's a big gap between 12th and 13th. Those guys are still catching up to the train. I assume they're going to be up to the back of them shortly. Where are they? They're at turn 9. Okay, so they're catching up very. They'll be on the train now. Okay, cool. So we're pretty close. Lawrence Smith, whoa, almost centre punches the back of Andrew Ferguson there, who is behind his teammate as well. Down a lap, but I don't think we're going to have time to unlap. So we're going to just get around. Now look at our race leader at the moment. It's Matt Cotter. He's got Nick Mello behind him. He's already won 2 races tonight. And he is in the box seat to win a 3rd. He's only got 1 more car to overtake to make that happen, and he might only have 1 lap to do so. Thomas Wilson, our championship leader there in the Nissan. He can see it all happening. He's changed his number to 696. I don't know what that's about. Brennan Pierce up in 5th. Great drive from him. He's avoided all the trouble so far. Pascal Hein in 6th. German efficiency is on fire tonight. seen him very racy. There goes a car. There goes Lawrence Smith into the pits, I believe, or is he just unlapping himself? He is unlapping himself. Surely there's no time for this. Who else needs to be unlapped? Maybe... no, McFadden doesn't need to be unlapped, but we can maybe get this race underway. It's going to be a one-lap sprint to the end. We're going to have to be under safety car conditions for one more lap. James Claypole there in the Pringles Mustang entry. It's a great-looking livery, by the way. I love it. We've got the speed stripes down the top. We've got the accents on the splitter and everything. And Pringles is the OP chip, by the way. There's no doubt about that. Harley Marshall sitting there in 8th position. I reckon he might be able to make up a couple of positions off the restart. It all comes down to who is the bravest. Who wants to take the risk here, late on a Sunday evening? Late into this race. It's going to be a one-lap sprint. I'm going to be out of breath. I think we'll go half a lap each. Zach O'Reilly for the call. Once you get your safety car off track. Lockie Grant there in 9th. The classic Mobil 1 livery. It's beautiful custom livery there for the Mobil 1 racing team. Stephen Marsden there in 10th position. After a couple of podiums last time around, he won't be happy with 10th, and neither will Ferguson. And the TerraTech Geotechnical entry there, number 31, Chris Eckert behind him. A few Volvos together with Brad Turby on the Squirrel Racing team. He's come a long way as well this season. Certainly making leaps and bounds. With Hayden Cook, the chef there for Rangiat in the number 7. I think we might be gearing up to get this race underway. We're halfway through this lap. We've got one more. Brendan Schmerl for AC Karting. Keep an eye out on that Pro Sim Center Discord. Some exciting things to happen soon. Jesse Marshall for MBR. Sitting there in 16th position. All these guys, their eyes are huge for the potential of overtakes on this last lap. I reckon we're going to have some very spicy racing coming up. Jason McFadden back there in 18th. I can't wait to see what he can do once he gets to grips with these V8 supercars. Alex McEwen's down in 19th. He's opted to come in for a pit stop and pop some super softs on. That, I don't know if it's going to work for him. He's going to make up a lot of positions, but not to where he was before. Jimmy Park is also on the super softs back there in 20th position with Clayton Pine, Lawrence Smith, and here we are with our safety car is off track. Matt Cotter is in control of the race at the moment. There is no overtaking before the control line. And look at Nick Mello. He's right up underneath the rear wing. He's ready, rip roaring, and it's red hot. And I think we are go, go, go. There goes Matt Cotter. He is under control into this race. He leads down into turn 1 with Nick Mello and Thomas Wilson. It looks like Adam Benson. Hine has crashed into Wilson. Both of those guys are out. James Claypole's up to 5th with Adam Betts in front of him. Lockie Grant and Wilson just gets back onto the track in front of Stephen Marsden. Holy moly. Pascal Hine jumps on as well with Ferguson behind him. Chris Ergert into 11th. Holy moly, it's all happening here. We're going to check out the lead, Zach O'Reilly.
Oh, beautiful stuff there. Chris Monroe couldn't call it better myself. Cotter's got 3 tenths between him and Nick Mello. So what the hell is going to happen here between these two? We'll find out shortly. This is a battle for the ages with only 4 kilometres to go here. That is just one battle we want to watch because it's all happening at the back. Tommy Wilson's got himself up into 7th. Marsden's come a cropper there in, from 7th to 11th. So I'm not sure if there was contact there. But the battle here at the front is still the closest on track. We're going to have to watch these guys for the rest. Unless you call something else, Chris, we'll stick with them. Because I'll tell you what, Nick Mello has just got a beautiful run here on Matthew Cotter. Matthew Cotter's ran wide. And that could be a bit of stuckage here. Pressure is on. What's going to happen here? Is there going to be a dive bomb? Is he going to feint left or right? You know, Matt Cotter's gone super deep on the brakes, but he's ran himself wide. And that's going to let Nick Mello come up the inside if he's got any overlap. Will it happen at the last turn, ladies and gentlemen? a battle of the suckages. I'm not sure what's going to happen. There'll be some dirty air for sure in the last sort of 2 circles. Oh, Matt Cotter's sideways,
Big
and Nick
slide.
Mellow's gone to send. He's done the send and defend
What a
on Matthew
move.
Cotter. Matthew Cotter's
What a
hit him, Chris
move.
Munro, and Nick Mellow has got through for the final 2 corners. What a move there by Jigo's in the fair dinkum department. What is going to happen here? Is Cotter going to give him some motivation?
Yeah, he's going again.
What's going on here?
Here
Oh,
he
he's
goes.
run himself
He's off the
wide.
board.
Oh, it's all happening. Nick Mello has come through to take the win at the final death here at race 3 at AK Racing. What a final lap battle there. And Pearso has come through and found himself in third for a podium position, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen. James Claypole, the steel rod, has come through in 4th. Lachlan Grant in 5th. Tom Wilson in 6th. Virgo, Hind, Marsden and Chris Eckert ran at your top 10. Oh, Chris, what a bloody final last lap. That was an
How
absolute belter.
good was that? A bit of tit for tat for the final for the top 2 placings there. Hayden Cook coming across the line in 11th. Clayton Pine in 12th. Jason McFadden 13th. Brandon Schmell 14th. Harley Marshall in the number 77 there for MBR Racing in 15th. Alex McEwen, a little bit disappointed with that effort. I'm sure he is in 16th. Adam Betts we saw going off the track there after the restart, and he will finish in 17th. Jim Park has quit the server already in 18th. Brad Turby in 19th. Clayton Waters, in the Cam Waters livery. Very confusing for anyone there in 20th. Jesse Marshall for MBR as well in the 117 with Lawrence Smith. Poor old Smith, he's found himself in 22nd, and Newing was a no-show there. But tell you what, the man of the moment, the man of the night is Nick Mello. He's gone 3 from 3. What an absolute drive there. Put your hands together, everyone at home. What an absolute cracking last lap of that race.
That was beautiful to watch, Chris. Couldn't call it better myself. And Nick Mello doing the domination and some beautiful Tokyo drift style. He's full drifting it. That is fantastic to watch. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say about that race. He generally gives good feedback to us as well. So what an event, what a night for him. He'll be stoked. So will Matthew Cotter, and so will Mr. Pearce with the final race chockies. That is an absolute belter for him. He'll be stoked as a goat on a rope, smoking some dope, if you don't mind.
That's his first podium here in AK Racing, so he will be absolutely stoked with that. We might, well, I can't wait for the interview here as Nick Mello brings himself into the winner's circle here in the middle. Brandon Pearce in the second place position. Matt Cotter probably feeling to himself what could have been. But there they go, ladies and gents, there in the... he's just giving it a bit of a bump as well. The boys going in and out. Can we get some smoke on there as well? I think that's what they're doing. Very nice to see. Oh, is it too early to bring him into the post-race
interview room?
Yeah, I think we'll get there as soon as we can, because that was one of the best last laps I've ever called on.
Yep, I'm with you there. That was a pleasure to be a part of here at Sensational TV and AK Racing. What a fantastic last race battle. That's what happens with safety cars. It's all for nothing, and we've definitely got that and some pure dive bombs there. It was fantastic to watch. I love that sort of stuff, and clean for the relativity of our guys. So pure credit to Nick Mello and Matt Cotter, and well done to Brandon Pearce for that maiden podium here at AK Racing.
Oh yeah, what a cracking I'll tell you what, a safety car last lap shootout. As we've seen in the past, it brings up some surprises, some absolute cracking results. Poor old Pascal Hine and Tommy Wilson had a bit of a gutser there on the last lap as well. Not ideal for those guys, but tell you what, we'll try and I'll tell you what, we're going to bring up these guys into the post race interview now, because I can't wait to see their feelings about that last lap.
Look, I know what my feelings are, and they're trials and tribulations of motor racing, and none better than Matt Cotter having a good old living up to his team name, send and defend. He did absolutely everything there. He was absolutely on fire. Was something to behold. It was some cracking moves up and down, up and down the field with everyone in sundry. And you and Nick Mello have been battling it out. And did you set your car up any different to last season, or has it just been keep it safe and keep it normal to just get those cobwebs blown off, as you said?
Yeah, kind of the same to last season. A little bit of setup work with Hein as well, my teammate, but just kind of dealt with it as I usually do and see what happens.
Good to hear. Good to hear stuff. Chris Munro, take it away.
Yeah, that was
You've got some questions.
That was an absolutely epic last lap battle there. What were you thinking, Nick Mello, when the safety car came out with 2 to go?
To be honest, I actually was not seeing an opportunity for a win. I was scared about Wilson behind me, because Wilson has a tendency to be very late on the brakes. He tends to go faster into a corner than I do, and I'm faster. I tend to be faster on the way out, so I was kind of worried about a dive bomb at turn 1. And Matt had been pulling away from me before the safety car was called, so I wasn't really expecting that result, but there was a mistake in the last lap and managed to make it work, I guess.
Yeah, we saw that Cotter just left the gate open there into turn 13, and it must have been a split-second decision by you to just fill that gap with the VF Commodore, and it would just worked out absolutely perfectly. Tell you what, hats off to both of you, and congratulations on 3 from 3, Nick Mello.
Yeah, thank you very much. Kind of crazy to go from winning my first V8 race last round and now clean sweep.
Yeah, very impressive indeed. Speaking of impressive outings, is our man Brandon Pierce with his maiden podium position here in AK Racing. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you. I haven't been here before, so I didn't even. I forgot to join the interview. So it's good to be here. I honestly thought I was just going to be biting my teeth just to say position 5. Knew I had a few fast guys behind me, but Pascal just came up, fought pretty hard for that first corner, and unfortunately I gained on his misfortune. So Merc on the podium.
It's
absolutely.
Take it away, Zach.
No, that's. I was just going to say, about time we see the Merc back up where it should be, in my opinion, here at AK Racing, up in the third step and beyond, maybe to the top step here. So, but how did you feel? You and your teammate Lawrence Smith tended to looked like a quick car and consistent on the race pace sort of department, but a bit of trials and tribulations for Shags tonight. But yourself, you seem to drive pretty cleanly. How'd the car feel?
Coming into the race, I was a bit skeptical about where I was going to place. I'm not very good with qualifying, just in the heat of the moment. So it took me a few laps to just really settle in. But once I got the groove, it was really nice. Made a few good moves in all the races. So I'm happy with the positions I made. Pretty foreign being here. I think my second best finish is 6th place. So I'm ecstatic. It's awesome.
Well done, mate. We were cheering for you as you crossed the line. It was good to see. We had that last lap battle with Mr. Cotter and Mr. Mallow, and that was cracking to watch. With a late safety car, it can turn up anything, and it's, as you said, PSO, it's just one of those things where you make advantages of other people's misfortunes, and you find yourself in a position you probably didn't think you were going to be in. But that's motor racing for you in everyone's department. How did we all feel? I'll probably get your thoughts, Cotter, on Bahrain as a circuit, then Mallow, and then Pierce will get to you after your opinions.
Open flowing circuits aren't really my sort of thing, so I kind of struggled coming up to this, but once I got my head around it, it wasn't a bad circuit at all.
Mr. Mallow?
I'd say the same sort of thing as Cotter. It's not usually my style, but I kind of set my car up in a way and attacked it as more of a point and shoot circuit. Like I noticed I was on a very different line to a lot of other people. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was a lot better than I thought it would be.
All over to you, Mr. Pearce. You're the final cab off the rank.
Well, coming from Formula One, I mean, V8s are completely different, but I just love the layout of this track. Like, I'm used to it. I still was half a second off the lead in practice and quali, so I really prefer open tracks like this. It lets me spread my wings a little bit more. So,
bit of a song reference there. I can't remember the title, but
take it away, mate.
I wish for sure. But congratulations to all you three. That was some stellar work, and very nice to see Matt Cotter, our resident champion from season 10, back on the track here. And speaking of tracks, Chris Munro, where are we going next?
We will be next week back in Australia for not only any old Aussie track, but it is a 2-hour enduro at the world-famous Bathurst Mount Panorama Circuit. And I'll tell you what, that's going to be an absolute cracker. We've got 2 hours of racing and plenty of strategy to be had in that round.
Absolutely. With 2 hours, anything can happen. Gents, just give us a 3-word summary of your anticipation, or maybe just a sentence, actually. 3 words is a bit hard, of what you think that Panorama is going to put up to all of yous at the next round in a fortnight.
I'm going to say hunt down a new lap record.
Ooh, look out.
Yeah,
I'm going to say hopefully make it, because I will be returning from the real Mount Panorama. And hopefully I am there in time.
You'll know the track backwards by that time for sure after that weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pierce.
Oh, you want to continue?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm all good. I'm good.
For me, I'm just going to do my own race. Don't really want to get mixed up with a lot of other drivers, so just going to focus on keeping it clean and pushing that mountain.
Stuff. Chris Munro, take us away. We are about to sign off here at Sensational TV. The final words from the super coach himself, Chris Munro.
It's been an absolute pleasure calling the race tonight. We've had trials and tribulations. We've had wrecks and we've had wins. We've had first-time podiums. We've had it absolutely coming at us thick and fast. And if you haven't already, if you're watching the stream now, give us a little subscribe and a little like there. It goes a long way towards bringing you the best content possible here in the Australian sim racing scene, especially for Assetto Corsa and V8 Supercars. Our next stream will be on Wednesday night when the Wednesday Cup boys are out on track again in the minis, and they're going to be cracking it around a particular circuit called Taupo Motorsport Park. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's over in New Zealand. The V8 Supercars will be travelling there this year, but we're going to get there first in the minis on Wednesday night. So hopefully you can all tune in then and get a bit of that action, because most of these guys you see in the V8 squad will be there racing for a bit of fun on a Wednesday night. So I'll tell you what, it's been an absolute pleasure. Zach O'Reilly is there as usual, and we'll be back on Wednesday night with the Wednesday Cup, and next time for the V8s at Bathurst. So until then, tip your hats to all the winners of tonight, which was only one, Nick Mello, but all the podium getters, and take care of yourselves and stay out of each other. Thank you very much.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, guys.
See you, boys. Well done. Thanks everyone.